Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome to today's live stream on Rabbit Hole Rocks Live. How's everybody doing? How's everyone doing? Okay, let's see here. Let's just go ahead. I just want to make sure everything is looking good. Is everything looking good? Sounding good? Yes. Hello, hello. Hi. Aw, yeah, the kitties. Right. How's everybody doing? Well, yeah, welcome to our what is this? This is our fourth live stream on this channel, right? That is so crazy. Fourth live stream. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. What did we want to talk about today? We just left a the Nicole Kessinger conversation. And so I'm just curious as to what you all want to really talk about today. As you saw, my thumbnail, it has Chris Watts' head. It's like he's a swamp monster, right? So we can really talk about anything we want, really. Hi, hello, Nancy, Nelia. If you like pina coladas, hello, hello. Yeah, I know. So many of you have been wanting to do some what is it? Like oh my gosh, what's the term? Supernatural, right? Supernatural things. I know our first live stream was pretty or our second live stream was pretty fun. We were looking at the that creature, right? The creature. There was a creature that was climbing in some guy's car, so that was interesting. We were trying to figure out who it was. Was it Nicole Kessinger or Ronnie? How guilty Nicole Kessinger is. Right. I mean, we can talk about Nicole Kessinger's guilt all day long, right? We can put an entire list together of things that are very clearly, right, things that she did that are incriminating. So we can definitely do that. But we'll leave that for the other channel. Yeah, Nicole guilty as charged. Yes, except she was never charged. She was never charged, and that's the problem, right? The problem is that she was never charged. Mm, so awful. Yeah, I mean that is the problem here, right? And that is the main scope of the documentary that I'm working on is that we're not only making it pretty obvious for the viewer that Nicole Kessinger was involved by putting all of the evidence in a way that makes sense, in a way that gets the storyline to make sense, but also to bring attention to why Rourke didn't bring any charges to her, knowing that there's all of that evidence against her. Granted, it's all circumstantial evidence, of course, but it is evidence nonetheless. And so that is part of the scope of the documentary is to really look into Rourke and why he didn't bring charges, which of course we know it happens, but it shouldn't, right? It shouldn't happen. And that is the whole point of the documentary is to really talk about the issues that we see with our system. Yes. Yeah. Let's hope, right, Nancy? I mean, let's hope. We're going to change that. Hopefully. Yes. Hopefully. You started watching Should I Marry a Murderer? Oh. Hmm. Really? Should I Marry a Murderer? And I'm freaking out. What happened to the lady? Anything that is Netflix, of course. Very hard to play here because they will try and scrape every single cent out of it. They're like, "Oh no, that is our Netflix documentary. You can't have that." Okay. It's so crazy that they try Netflix tries to copyright claim body cam footage. I don't see, the thing is that they can because they're Netflix. Since they're Netflix, they have the money to be able to copyright strike or claim anything that they want. And because we are just everyday people, individuals that don't have the money or the power that Netflix has, we kind of just have to deal with it. So when Netflix puts a claim on a video, the creator just deals with it for 30 days. Um, unless Netflix decides to drop the claim. But if they don't drop the claim, the creator has to deal with not having that video monetized for an entire 30 days, and they just get to do whatever they want. Netflix has also stolen from content creators, and they don't care. They don't care, because when Netflix steals from a content creator, they're stealing from an individual that doesn't have the power or the money to be able to fight it. And so when they do that, it's a lot harder for the creator to fight for their content, but Netflix is allowed to do whatever they want, apparently. Of course, I'm not saying don't watch Netflix. If you like Netflix, and I used to, I used to, but yeah, if you like Netflix, yeah, please watch Netflix. Uh, have you ever covered Madeline McCann or Ian Huntley or Alexi Treviso? No. No, I have not. Let's see. I'm gonna Google them. Who are they? Madeline. Okay, so let's do the first one. Madeline McCann. Oh, the disappearance. Is she still disappeared? Is she still here? Let's go ahead and look. Oh, okay. So this is what I have right now. This is Madeline. And then what was the other one? The other one is Alexi Treviso. Alexi Treviso. Oh, I know about this one. The confession about dumping the newborn baby in the hospital trash can. Oh, these are awful people. See, the list of criminals never ends, right? It never ends. We can keep talking about criminals all day long because there's so many of them. They're all so evil. There are just so many vile people in this world. Ian Huntley. Let's look at Ian Huntley. Oh, wow. A murderer. More. Oh, wow. I have not. I have not looked into these, but thank you. Thank you for letting me know, because these are all very good cases to talk about on Rabbit Hole Rocks. As you guys know, I am also making short 30-minute videos on Rabbit Hole Rocks. They're going to be kind of like a lunch break series, right? So, or not a series, but like a little lunch break videos from Monday through Friday. And we're going to be covering all of these cases. So, all the cases that you guys want to talk about. So, yeah, there's Ian Huntley. There is the ones that you mentioned earlier. There have also been a lot of requests for Taylor Parker, which insane woman. That woman is the devil. She is an absolute demon. I cannot imagine somebody doing that to another human being, let alone a mother who ugh, I can't. I did make a video on it, and it's just unbelievable. It's when she gets pulled over by police. It is just so absurd. She's so gross. I can't believe she lied about it and thought she could get away with it. That is insane. Was she manic? Was she going crazy at that moment? Because I don't know. I don't know. Okay, Lindsay Clancy. Lindsay Clancy. Lindsay Clancy is another one. Is on trial now. What does she do? Oh, wow. Look at this. Strangulation of her 3 young children. Her defense argues that she is not criminally responsible due to postpartum psychosis. Wow. When was this? This was recently? Taylor Parker is crazy. Who is Taylor Parker? She is she cut a baby out of a woman's womb. Like, cut the baby out of the womb. She was pregnant, and she shows up to her house and just cuts the baby out. And then she is driving erratically, gets pulled over, and tells the police, I just gave birth to this baby. Can you please take me to the hospital? And they look at her and say, no, you did not just give birth to this baby. And of course she gets caught. She's so insane. The man hit a cyclist and buried him. Gets enraged to a path. What? And then he tells her about the crime and is afraid to call the police. Killed him 3 years prior. He was drinking afraid he was gonna lose everything. Oh my goodness. Lucy Letby is controversial as well. Lucy Letby. Who is Lucy Letby? Wow. You guys have all the criminals. All of them. All right, which one is this? Oh, right. Right. Yes, we talked about Lucy Letby. This is the nurse, right? Former neonatal nurse convicted of murdering 7 infants and attempting to murder 7 others. Wow. Hey, Tommy's girl, there you are. Hello, how are you? Here, I wanted to make you a moderator. Here, I'm gonna add you as a moderator. Tommy's girl. All right, there you are. You're a moderator now. Thank you so much, by the way. Thank you so much for volunteering to be a moderator on this channel. I would make you a moderator on Rabbit Hole Rocks, but I just have way too many already. I think I only have a few of them here. TK, Tommy's girl, V-Bug. I think Tootsie is still a moderator on this one as well. Thank you guys. But yeah, this lady is also crazy. Wait, is she the one? Some people think she either, I don't know, right? Is this the one where there's some kind of doubt though if she actually did it or not? Is this it? Hmm. Right, innocent or guilty, what do we think? Again, I don't know anything about this case. I know nothing about it. But what do we think? Is she guilty or innocent? Hmm. She suffered a potential miscarriage of justice. Why? Why is there a miscarriage of justice for that? And now she is like, wow, I fell in love with a murderer. And she finally goes to the police and tells them what he did. Trying to stay alive, pretending she didn't tell on him. Oh, wow. Aw, Tommy's girl. Right. Yeah, I have no idea how to be a moderator. I'll learn. Yeah, see if you can kind of just like mess around. You can like right click on things and put people on timeout and stuff like that. And just like with Rabbit Hole Rocks, where we put people on timeout if they're just being obnoxious, and not just if they're being obnoxious, right? But if there's like just hate, like that kind of stuff, weird things, if they're making inappropriate, I don't know, comments, stuff like that. Right? Yeah, I don't know about the case either. Is that the one that got a great hospital care? Have they taken her away yet? Oh, Nivea. Yes, yes. Yeah, Taylor Parker. That's what we're talking about, right? Taylor Parker. This is Taylor Parker. Let's go ahead and just pull her up. Yeah, that's the one that they were treating like a patient. They were treating her like a patient and they finally hauled her away. This one. This lady right now. Where is Taylor Parker's family after her conviction? She's so crazy. How desperate do you have to be for a baby? Right, Gia? Yeah, Gia's like, "Meow." Yeah, I agree. Not that desperate. Huh. Yeah, no worries, Tommy's girl. Yeah. Yes, yeah, this is that lady. She's horrible. Mm. But yeah, since we don't know about the case, we can't really comment on it. But there is a Netflix documentary out on her. This is on Taylor Parker and it's called Maternal Instinct. She's taking photos pretending like she's pregnant. That lady is so nuts. That's her. This lady is so crazy. Hmm. Oh, yeah, right? You saw the documentary about her? I did, yes. Brian Koberger wanted his guilty plea retracted. Hmm. Brian Koberger is doing everything he can, right, to be able to get away with what he did. I had a friend, Heather, that was in a hit and run, and the girl panicked because she was drinking. Oh my goodness. Is your friend okay? Yeah, she did, Tommy's girl. Yeah, she cut the baby out to keep the baby. Well, to keep the man, right? She cut the baby out so that she can keep the man. Hey, Peter Foster, welcome. Welcome to our live stream. Why not just adopt a baby? Well, because she's insane. See, the thing is, yeah, she didn't want the baby. She wanted to keep the man. And so, as a lot of people believe, they think that bringing a child into this world will somehow make the relationship work. It doesn't. It doesn't. It never does. It never ends well. And in this case, this woman here thought that she can just lie. Oh, we cannot play this because Netflix will definitely try to come after me. That's mine, right? Netflix, that's mine. Oh, please. But anyway, this lady wanted to keep the man, right? It's the man that she wants to keep. Not really the baby. She doesn't really care about the baby. But she couldn't have babies anymore. But the best way to keep a man in her mind was to pretend that she was pregnant, telling him, "Hey, I have your baby." And she thought maybe that's going to keep him. And I don't know what her plan was I don't know what she was going to do after that. What, raise the baby as her own? And then do what? What about the woman that she murdered? What about the fact that it's not her baby and it's not her DNA? And that it's not the man's DNA because it's not their baby. But she was going to actually go on with her life pretending like this was her baby. Insanity. Absolutely crazy to think that there are people out there like her, like Twister for Twats, right? Twister for Twats is another one. He thinks, oh, the best way to work on my marriage is just to bring another child into this world. How? How does that work? Where's the logic behind that? Truly demented. Exactly, Tommy's girl. Demented. It's absolutely deranged mentality. How he didn't know that she wasn't pregnant is wild. Right. So crazy. She already had 2 kids. Yeah, not taking care of them. Yeah. And see, that's the thing is that she didn't even care about the kids. It's not the kids that she wanted. But she knows, or she believes that it's the kids that can keep the man. She mostly really only cared about her looks and attracting men. And she did so by cutting out a baby out of someone. That's so crazy. And for what? For what? Heather was drinking and she tried to run across the highway because it was a shortcut to the house. A lady drinking who forgot to put the headlights on hit her with her car and flees the scene. Oh my goodness. Has she been caught? Oh, she thought she hit a deer? I mean, you kind of know when you hit a deer. You see a deer, not a person. Huh. Oh, that is nuts. Lois Reese, a Minnesota grandmother who killed her husband, stole his money, fled to Florida, and murdered a lookalike woman to steal her identity. Ah, that is nuts. Okay, let's go ahead and look up that person too. Lois. Hey, Lois. Reese or Rice? Reese? I'm not a monster. Oh, this is an HBO documentary. Okay. Wow. These people are so deranged. What a scary world we live in. Okay, look at this. She's an American murderer, former fugitive. She gained notoriety in 2018. Look, same year. Charged with murdering her husband in Minnesota and a woman in Florida, resulting in a United States-wide manhunt. She's the killer grandma. She was convicted of both counts of murder and was sentenced to 2 life terms in prison. Why? Why is she murdering people? What did she do? Why? Okay, it's right here. After leaving Minnesota, she went to Florida, where she was accused of becoming friends with Pamela Hutchinson, a woman who resembled her physically. Reese killed Hutchinson to assume her identity in order to avoid the police as well. With Hutchinson's identification and credit card, she moved from state to state until being caught in April of 2018. These people are insane. There's some crazy cases out these days. Right, Eric? Holy shit. There's crazy cases everywhere. Have you guys heard about the brother that murdered his pregnant sister? Did you guys hear about that one? That one is also insane. This man murdered his sister because she was pregnant and because she was no longer a virgin. She's no longer pure in his mind. Have you guys heard about that guy? Insane. Brother murders sister. How many more? How many more? Yeah, the other one is this one. Jack Ball. You guys know about him? Jack Ball pleaded guilty to premeditated first-degree murder of his 30-year-old pregnant sister, an unborn child. The court documents state that he killed her in 2024 because his journals expressed anger that she was pregnant and no longer innocent. Absolutely brutal. It is just so insane. What gives him the right? Who told him that he decides whether his sister is innocent or not? This is so absolutely fucking disgusting. Disgusting. And this was very recent, guys. This was 2 years ago. Look at this. He invited her over, and look at how bad it is, all right? He attacked and dismembered her. She was 17 to 18 weeks pregnant. He lured her into his house over dinner. And then he stabbed her from behind. Wow. Look, in 2026, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of premeditated first-degree murder. Mental illness, really. He's not mentally ill. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. It's in his journal. In his journal, he's expressing anger that she's no longer innocent. This is not mental illness. He knew exactly what he was doing. He's angry. He's angry that his sister is married, having a baby, and that she's no longer pure in his eyes. It's so insane. Crazy, crazy. What other ones? What other ones do we know of? Oh, have you guys heard of the other? And oh God, this one is just so heartbreaking. The man, the dad, who assaulted his own daughter, his own grown daughter that she flew out to stay with him, and he assaulted her a whole night. And the assault was so terrible that she ended up unaliving herself. And currently, the state of California is trying to figure out whether or not they should charge him with anything because there is no witness anymore. There's no victim. The victim is gone. And so since there's no victim, they're trying to figure out if they should even bring charges to this fucking psychopath that assaulted his own daughter. Wild. Do we know about that? It's so disgusting. These are all very gruesome cases. Very, very hard to bring any levity to them. And so, yeah, it's just kind of hard to talk about. Betty Broderick. Her husband was a POS, but her case was truly snapping. Betty Broderick. Who dat? Let's see. Betty Broderick. Okay, let's go ahead and look into Betty Broderick. This lady? Okay. Okay. Oh, she's no longer around. Okay. She murdered her ex-husband and his succeeding wife as an act of revenge after Daniel cheated and divorced her. Wow. No way. When was this? Oh, wait, in the 90s. Oh, this was the 90s. Life in prison. Wow. Okay, let's look in the murders. She purchased a gun, Smith& and Wesson revolver. She entered the house while the couple were asleep and shot and killed them. This is so horrible. Hmm. The murders occurred at 5:30 in the morning in November 5th of 1989, 2 days before Betty's 42nd birthday. The bullets hit Linda in the back of the head. In the head and chest, killing her instantly. One bullet hit Dan in the chest, and he was apparently reaching for the phone. One bullet hit the wall, and another one hit the nightstand. The incident occurred 17 days before Dan's 45th birthday. Linda was 28 years old. Wait, what? Oh, his new wife was 28? That's a pretty big gap. Pretty big. Okay. Wow. Crazy. Yeah, Betty was something. Look up Lori Vallow's Hawaii trip while her kids were missing. Shocker. She and her husband killed them to run off to a new life. See, guys, yeah, I mean, evil people are everywhere. It really just, it's just human. It really is. I think, most people are not going to do something as heinous as this, but it's just human nature. Some people just get so desperate or they're just so selfish and so narcissistic that they just don't think that they're ever going to get caught. What is it? Lori Vallow and Chad. Oh, to me, if NK and Chris had gotten away with it. Vallow and Daybell. Okay, and what is his name? Chad? Chad Daybell? Oh, this is like a doomsday thing? Doomsday cult? Really? Okay. Chad Daybell and Lori committed a series of murders by extreme doomsday beliefs. The couple led an apocalyptic religious group, believing people around them had been taken over by dark spirits and needed to die. The victims, Lori's children, a 7-year-old, Joshua, and 16-year-old, Tylee Ryan, along with Chad's previous wife and Lori's former husband. So they killed 4 people? The missing children's bodies were found buried in Chad's property in Idaho in June of 2020. Oh, yeah, right. The cult always gets the headlines. It was just an affair. Yeah. Right. The media always has a way of twisting things, don't they? The reality is that it was just an affair, right? But they're going to try and throw in there, these are doomsdayers. It really is just an affair. Wow. They were sentenced to death in Idaho. Are they still on oh, they are sentenced to life without parole. So they're still on death row. They use that as their excuses. Yeah, it was mainly just lust. Right. Yeah, a cult. Right. Yeah, lots of narcissistic people and narcissistic companies. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It was mainly just lust. Oh my God. Jennifer Dulos? Is that the name? Jennifer Dulos? Jennifer. These cults are dangerous. I have listened to so many survivor. Oh, yes. Yes. One of the craziest ones, all of these cults are crazy, right? Especially the, what is his name? Jim Jones, the Jim Jones cult, right? Drinking the Kool-Aid. It's one of the craziest ones I read about. But there's also the one, is it Nixium? Is that what it's called? This is a stupid name, Nixium. The guy is now in prison for life. But yeah, that one was so strange to me, how this man was able to get all of these women to worship him like a god, and they didn't know it. They were getting branded by this man. He was branding his initials on them. And it was all under the guise of like personal self help. A man leading women for self help, right? I mean, the irony, the irony. This man is telling them, hey, women, listen to what I am saying. I'm going to help you guys be successful. All these women just believed it. It's so crazy. So crazy. Yeah, you should definitely not believe any self-help anything, right? Especially if it's culty. It's not real. But it's just so crazy. Okay, this is Jennifer Dulos. Who is she? She went missing. She was killed in an attack. Her estranged husband and his girlfriend were arrested on charges of tampering with evidence. What? Oh, oh wow. She was ruled legally dead. So she went missing. Oh, she's never been found? Has she never been found? Authorities believe that she was killed in an attack in her home. Her estranged husband and his girlfriend were arrested on charges of tampering with evidence and hindering prosecution. Yeah, tampering with evidence, hindering prosecution. That should have all been things that Nicole Kessinger should have been charged with, but she wasn't. In connection with Jennifer's disappearance. Hmm. Oh, of course, right? Of course, one of them has to unalive themselves when things get too hard. Look at this. Fotis, so the husband, unalived himself. Hmm. How convenient. It's the same like that nasty fuck. What's his name? He's so gross. I hate that man. He unalived himself. I don't even know his name, but he kidnapped those 3 girls. Castro, that's his name. So disgusting. Yeah, he unalived himself. He couldn't handle it. He's so weak. You know, if you're going to commit these crimes, just be proud of it, right? Why hide it? Why unalive yourself after the consequences? Just deal with it. The thing is, especially with people like Castro, he's so disgusting, despicable, vile, absolutely just abhorrent, disgusting individual. He did all of those things to those poor girls, to his victims, and they're still here with us, right? They persevered. They got through it. And as hard as it may be and all the trauma that they're still dealing with, right? They are strong. He is not. He's a weak piece of shit. He could not handle the consequences of his actions. He unalived himself. Hmm. Ugh. It should not be allowed. But they left him in there with, I think it was sheets or something. They shouldn't even give him sheets. Let him sleep on the ground. Let him sleep on the floor, on the cold concrete floor with no sheets. Have him eat out of the plate or the bowl with his face. Don't even give him utensils. He doesn't need utensils. He should eat with his face. Mm. You can look into, can you look into the missing person, Jessica Stacks in Mississippi? It makes no sense in my opinion. Boyfriend is suspicious. Oh, Jessica Stacks. Yeah, they did. Smart survival. They did. They tore down his house too. I mean, it's good. It's good that they tore it down because it was a house of horrors. Okay. Which was the other one? Jessica Stacks. Jessica Stacks. Missing in Mississippi. When was this? When did she go missing? Okay, let's go ahead and let's do this one maybe. Okay, on New Year's Day, she vanished. Oh, look at this. According to early statements from her boyfriend, the pair visited a small boat. It had no motor or oars. Stacks allegedly left her phone at her friend's house so they could call for a ride later. This kind of reminded me. I have not even done reading into the full case, but right off the bat, it reminds me of this other case I think it's a cold case, but police have already concluded that it was an unaliving. I don't think so. But there is a case of a woman who was stabbed numerous times in the back and the head, and the police ruled it an unaliving, that she unalived herself. And it was the fiance who gave the story. Hmm. hmm. Yeah, exactly right, boobs. Exactly, from her boyfriend. Say no more. Exactly. Which is why it took me back to that other case. Because that other case was the same thing. Oh, according to her fiance who found her body. Say no more. Say no more. Yeah. How is it that this woman stabbed herself numerous times in the back and head? How do you do that? How do you stab yourself that many times trying to commit an unaliving of yourself? Most women do not unalive themselves in that manner. And the thing is, studies do show that women, when they commit unalivings, it's usually by poisoning, right? So they take a ton of pills, right? They unalive themselves that way, or it's going to be something less violent, right? It's not going to be as violent as stabbing or shooting themselves. And so that case is so impossible. There's just absolutely no way. And I think that there's a cover up going on with that specific one. Yes, Ellen Greenberg. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that one too. I want to talk about that one with you guys. That shit is crazy. Okay, but let's go ahead and read about Jessica Stacks. Right. Yeah, say no more. Her boyfriend says, okay. Right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing with like, Corey Richins. Oh, okay. Oh, Corey Richins says that her husband just passed away. Oh, it was the Lyme disease. Okay, Corey. Yeah, right. My goodness. Yeah. Against all logic and despite searches. Okay. So, according to the statements from her boyfriend, Jerry, the pair visited a home to borrow a small boat. The craft reportedly had no motor or oars, and Baggett claimed that he planned to steer it using a shovel. What? You no. No. As a former Coast Guardsman myself, and as a former person who used to go kayaking constantly, you cannot do this with a shovel. The fuck? What? So Jerry thought that he could steer the boat with a shovel? That's not how it works. This is unbelievable. There is a science to oars. There's an entire science to how you steer a boat in the water. You can't just use a shovel. Right, boops. Oh, right. Yeah, I love to kayak. Same, right? Yeah, I want to hear your opinion. Have you ever kayaked using a shovel? A heavy ass shovel, right? Made of metal. That is not, shovels are not designed to pull water, right? Every oar is designed in a way because it's going in water. And so when you are rowing, right, it takes the least amount of effort because the energy is coming from the human, right? There is no extra energy, right? The energy that we're seeing is coming from the human. So the human has to be able to steer it. You can't steer it with a fucking shovel. It's not designed to go in the water and it's not designed to steer. It is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, case closed. I think we already figured out who did it. Allegedly. Allegedly. Wow. Stacks allegedly left her phone at the friend's house so they could call for a ride later. Surveillance video around 5:30 shows Jerry and a woman in his truck at a gas station with the boat hitched behind them. Jerry, we're going to keep calling him Jerry. Jerry said that the woman seen on camera was Stacks. He told investigators that the two launched the boat on a bridge on County Road 46 into the swollen Little Tallahatchie River. Jerry's account states that the boat began taking on water about 2 miles downstream. He said they pulled into the sandbar to empty the boat, but an argument followed. Right. Who steers with shovels? As Jerry climbed back into the boat, he said it drifted away, leaving Stax on the sandbar. He claimed that she began walking toward Highway 30, and then he later returned but could not find her. When Jerry was reported missing, or sorry, not Jerry, Stax at this point. When Stax was reported missing, Union County deputies and search teams canvassed the area along the nearby roads and the riverbank. They located coats, gloves, and a boot with the top cut off. Wait, what? A boot with the top cut off. What do they mean by this? The top of the boot? His name is Jerry. Yeah, that's it. Okay. The boot had the top cut off and footprints, but no sign of Stax herself. Okay. In 2023, Jerry publicly contradicted his initial claims. No surprise there. He told a reporter that he had not actually seen Stax since several days before her disappearance. He also claimed neither of them could swim and therefore would not have been on the river in a boat. What? Jerry said that he was working that day that she was reported missing. Oh, okay. So now he's no longer steering boats with shovels. Now he's saying, oh, I can't swim, so I would never be on a boat. I have so many things to say. This is so bizarre. Right, exactly. It's so crazy. Okay, Stax's mother and daughter, with deep ties in the community, has not contacted friends or family since she vanished. Investigators continue to ask. Okay, what is? Are they looking into Jerry? Where's Jerry? Why are they not looking into Jerry? He contradicted his statement, and I mean, my first clue is that he's using a shovel for something that you're not supposed to be using shovels for. Where is this Jerry at? What is the police doing about Jerry? This is so crazy. God. Oh, wow. Yeah, justice for Jessica. What is going on? Okay. Where's the investigation into this? Where's the police? Why are they not doing anything about this? Okay, let's go ahead and... Oh, you guys can't see that. Darn it. Okay, hold on. Oh, gosh. This website has so many pop-ups. So annoying. Okay, I'm not going to do this one. There's just way too many pop-ups. I don't want to do this. It's so bizarre. Yeah, it said Jerry has friends in law enforcement. Oh. He also said they were hog hunting from the boat. Hog hunting? From the boat? No. He has ties to law enforcement. They need to find her. They need to find her. They need to find her body, and they need to be looking into the boyfriend. Why are they not looking into the boyfriend? It has now been 5 years since woman went missing. What is the police doing about this? What? To hunt for animals. This is so absolutely insane. What? He and Stax plan to take the boat down a river to hunt animals? He also said Stax left her phone with the friend so that they could have a way to call for a ride when they were done. She left her phone with a friend so that they could have a way to call for a ride? What, her friend doesn't have a phone? This definitely sounds like a lie that Chris Watts would make up. You know, this Jerry guy does not sound all that intelligent. His lies are so absolutely ridiculous, which is why I think the police is also dropping the ball on this one. No surprise there, of course. No shocker, right? It's not a shocker that the police drops the ball. Baggett and a female were seen on a surveillance video getting gas in the truck. Hitched to the truck was a boat with no motor. On the video, you can see a passenger door open to show a female inside the truck. Jerry alleges that the female in the video is Stax, and that after leaving the gas station, the two launched the boat near a bridge. Huh. The victim has not been seen or heard from. Oh, wow. Oh, he did something. He definitely did something. That is very suspicious. So suspicious that this woman went out with her boyfriend on a boat and then she disappeared and she was never seen again. And the boyfriend is like, I don't know where she went. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. I have no clue. We just took a boat out there. I didn't have any oars, so I was just gonna use a shovel. Actually, hold on. I didn't go on a boat. I can't even swim. I was actually working that day. Yeah, very suspicious. Very suspicious. What is the police doing? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I read that Jessica got into drugs. Mm. Yeah, I mean, they'll probably try to blame it on something else, right? This is the thing is there's always blame put on something else. Like, oh, it's probably the drugs. Or, oh, it's probably she just went missing. She just got lost. She probably just drowned. No, 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 no. The more likely thing that happened, right? The most likely thing, she disappeared because she was murdered. Yeah. She didn't disappear because she was left on the sandbank or wherever she was left. No. I think the most likely thing that happened here is she was most likely murdered by the guy. And I don't know what's going on. Yeah, definitely seems sus. Yeah, seen another one that said that he told Cato that he introduced NK to SR at the fireworks 2017 and that they were at the same gym that the relationship and that the relationship or getting to know each other was over a year. Yeah, exactly, McCurley. Nowadays, who gives a phone to someone else? It makes no sense. Even the story itself, like, really? Did the friend not have a phone? You don't have to leave your phone with your friend to call for a ride. That friend should already have a phone. When did this happen? 2021. Everyone has a smartphone by then. Come on. Let's be so for real. She didn't have to leave her phone anywhere. She could have taken her phone. But how convenient that she doesn't have her phone on her when Jerry wants to take her out to hunt hogs from a boat while he's steering with a shovel. Is batshit crazy. Any police officer that believes that needs to get fired right off the bat. Just fire. Fire the police. Fire the police chief. Anybody. Who is the mayor? They need to be looking into this. Any idiot that believes this fucking story needs to be fired. This is unbelievable. Come on. Anyone with any common sense knows that this is a lie. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Some of these things are just so right. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the other case. The other one that the police just completely ignored. They're like, "Oh yeah, no, it's definitely possible that this woman stabbed herself 70 times in the back, over and over and over again." Oh, and then the back of the head too. And let's just believe what her fiancé says. Oh yeah. Tale as old as time. Yeah, I do not. I do not. Yeah. Because the person that I think absolutely did it is very litigious. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the guy is very privileged, very, very privileged. So, because of that, I can't go down that rabbit hole. I he sued an entire, what is it? He sued an entire media company just for making a documentary and, putting all of the pieces together. So he sued an entire media company for it. So I don't talk about it. But I think you guys know who I think I'm talking about, right? All of the evidence points to that person. All of it. All of it. And I believe that the other two were covering up for the other person because they didn't want to lose two people. So they're like, "Oh, we have to cover up for this little psychopath." And so because of that, I can't really talk about it, but I think you guys know. I yeah. Yeah. Definitely no justice there. No justice. The thing is, yeah, a lot of these cases don't ever get justice. Is the sad truth. And I think this is why I'm so hell bent on getting justice for Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico. That because we have all of the evidence that points to a particular person, it's just something that I'm going to continue to push for. But I do want to. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the other one because the other one is also very insane. What was her name again? Sorry, guys. Here, let's see. The woman who was found stabbed numerous times, but police said, "Oh yeah, it makes complete sense that she unalived herself." So absolutely ridiculous. What was her name? Do we remember, guys? Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nadia, I know. Yeah, son of Sam. What's his name? Berkowitz? Is it? Yeah, Berkowitz. Is that his name? Ellen Greenberg. There we go. Here, let's look at this case together, right? This is another one that is absolutely batshit crazy. Yet again, the police has also dropped the ball on this one. Okay. Look at this one here. I'm gonna just want to make sure that you guys can see the full screen here. So there it is. Oh no, it covers my face. Okay. All right, there we go. Just leave it like that for now. Okay. Look at this one. Ellen Ray Greenberg. Okay. She was murdered. She was murdered on 2011. In 2011. She was an American woman who died after sustaining 20 stab wounds. 20. 20. Her death was officially ruled a suicide. Her death was officially ruled a suicide despite, okay? This the key word here is despite. Okay? Despite her 20 stab wounds and 11 bruises, sparking extensive debate as to whether the cause of death was actually homicide. Because look at that. She has 10 to her back and neck and 11 bruises. The mysterious circumstances surrounding the manner of death have prompted significant political activity, legal action, and global media coverage. Yes, no one in their right mind would think that she would unalive herself by stabbing herself in the back. How does one do that? 10 times in the back and neck. Oh, and she also has 11 bruises. In February of 2025, look at this. Just as jury selection was beginning for the civil lawsuit by Greenberg's parents alleging intentional infliction of emotional distress, a settlement was reached between Greenberg's parents and the city of Philadelphia. Under the settlement agreement, the city made a $650,000 monetary payout to the family and agreed to execute an expeditious medical reexamination of Greenberg's manner of death. In October of 2025, Philadelphia's top pathologist issued a report reaffirming reaffirming the original ruling that Greenberg's manner of death was a suicide. Really? Who is Philadelphia's top pathologist, I wonder? These are the people we need to be looking into. Who is this guy? Philadelphia's top pathologist. How much did they pay this man? Pathologist. That ruled in Ellen Greenberg. Okay. Dr. Marlon Osborne. Huh, wow. He now admits he was wrong. Yeah, no shit. No shit. I mean, you don't have to. The thing is, you just need 2 working brain cells to figure out that he was wrong. I mean, all you need to do is be alive for a few years to figure this shit out. This is so insane. The pathologist who ruled Ellen Greenberg's death a homicide before switching his ruling to a suicide now says he was wrong. Oh, please. Oh, look, he originally ruled it a homicide and then he changed it. Greenberg, a 27-year-old Philadelphia teacher, was found dead with 20 stab wounds to the chest, abdomen, head, and back of her neck. Despite authorities ruling that Greenberg's death was a suicide after saying that only her DNA was found on the knife and her clothing, her parents have maintained the belief that their daughter was murdered. Now, Marlon Osborne, formerly the Philly's medical examiner, said in a sworn statement that he should have ruled Greenberg's death. He should not have ruled Greenberg's death a suicide. Based on my consideration of the new information brought to my attention after leaving my position as ME for the city of Philly, along with my original autopsy findings and information considered while I was actively involved in Ellen's case, he says, it is my professional opinion that Ellen's manner of death should be designated as something other than an unaliving. Yes. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, no shit. Greenberg was found dead. This is so insane. The knife was never fingerprinted. Wow. And that there were signs of a struggle in the apartment. It's a tremendous statement by Dr. Osborne, as far as I'm concerned, and a courageous one. The only thing unfortunate about it is how late it is, right? It came a little late. It should have come earlier, but we are grateful that he has done the right thing. Yeah, a little late. Ugh. Yes, hot chocolate lover. Yeah, we'll see you on Sunday. That's crazy. Definitely a cover up and conspiracy. Right. How can someone stab themselves in the back? You can't stab yourself 22 times. I mean, come on. Exactly. This is all so nonsensical. I can't believe this. Here, let's look at the incident. Okay, let's look at the incident. Background. Let's go ahead and just look at the full background. Okay. So she had met her fiancé on a blind date. He was an associate director and television producer for NBC. Oh, okay. Look at that. He was an associate director and television producer for NBC Sports at the time. So he has friends in high places. He had proposed to her in June of 2010, approximately 3 years into their relationship. Their wedding was planned for August 13 of 2011, and she had mailed out the save the date cards to guests 4 days before her death. This is so crazy. Look at this. On January 26 of 2011, a blizzard hit Philadelphia, prompting Greenberg to leave work and return to her apartment. She arrived back to her apartment approximately at 1:30 p.m. At approximately 6:30, she was pronounced dead. So she left work because there was a blizzard. And these people think that she went home and just started stabbing herself in the back. How much sense does that make? Her death was the result of 20 stab wounds. 20. 20. They included 10 stab wounds to the back of her head, right neck, ranging from nicks to two that were about 3 inches deep. 3 inches deep. I mean, how do you do that? That is so stupid. Wow. A gash to her scalp and 8 to her central front torso, ranging in zero point 0.2 centimeters to 4 inches. The knife embedded, oh, look at that. One of the wounds, the knife was embedded in her chest and including a 2-inch wound to her stomach. A subsequent 2025 report by the Philadelphia Medical, right, the one that we just saw, said that the stab wounds would be categorized as hesitation wounds. So absolutely dumb. This is so dumb. No defensive injuries were identified on her body. No defensive injuries. How would they read any defensive injuries if she's been stabbed in the back constantly, right? If she walked in through her front door and someone, not going to say who, but I think we know who, someone was waiting for her as she walks in and then she just gets repeatedly stabbed over and over and over again, how on earth is she supposed to have defensive wounds? Let's be so for real right now. How is she supposed to have defensive wounds? She walks in, she's getting stabbed numerous times and she's like, holy shit, what is happening? And she gets stabbed in the back of the neck, the back of the head. How is she supposed to have defensive wounds? If she's getting stabbed from the front, I would understand that, right? Because she's getting stabbed. She's like, oh no, she would have defensive wounds on her hands, right? Very, very similar to what we see with Jodi Arias's victim. God, what's his name? Please, somebody tell me his name. Oh my goodness. His name just escaped my brain just now. But he had defense wounds, right? He did have those defensive wounds because he was getting stabbed while he was showering. So Jodi came in with a knife, full psycho, right? Insane woman, psycho, stabbing her boyfriend. Travis, that's his name. Travis then has to defend himself, right? Those are defensive wounds that I would understand. But if you're getting stabbed in the back, how are you supposed to defend yourself? So insane. It's so stupid. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. See, these are the types of cases that just trigger me. Because you would assume, right, that these people would have common sense. I mean, a doctor that is considered an ME would have common sense. But as we know, some MEs are, they are kind of pushed or maybe just encouraged to throw out their common sense so that a certain verdict or a certain, different outcome could end up, being the actual thing that they're going to go with, right? So we do know that happens. We know that DAs and police, they encourage medical examiners to change their findings because it doesn't go with their story. It doesn't go with their narrative. And so, of course, here we go. It's just one of those other cases where a doctor said, oh no, this is definitely a homicide. And then he was either threatened or encouraged in a different type of way, right? We don't know. Oh, hey, are you sure you still want to be a medical examiner? Because if you do, then I would suggest you change that homicide to something else, right? Those are the type of threats that I think that these people get. And so therefore he changed it. He's like, you know what? I think you're right. Yeah. It was an unaliving. Yeah. It's because it was not convenient for him and his career at that time, in my opinion. I think, we see a lot of this happen. Okay. Wow. Let's go ahead and continue with this. Greenberg also had 11 bruises in various stages of resolution. Look at this. This is the most important part here, right? That she had various stages of bruises. So many of these bruises had happened before. I wonder how. Including a large bruise on her upper right arm, just below her shoulder. 3 bruises on her right forearm, including a vivid one near her wrist. How does she have vivid bruises on her wrist? Unless she's being held down, maybe, right? Would be best categorized, where am I? Completely, Where am I? Here it is. Oh, here it is. Okay. A vivid one around her wrist, one bruise on her abdomen, three bruises on her right knee, three bruises on her right thigh. A lot of these bruises are on her right. Why? Right? All of these, it seems like all of these bruises are on the right side of her body. Hmm. In 2025, the report noted that 20 more bruises, as well as three more stab wounds, were superficial. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And look at this. This is the worst part of it all, right? This is where I criticize police and medical examiners and DA because they can't be this stupid. According to the investigation report, her fiance, Samuel Goldberg, returned from a gym. Oh, this is so believable. Returned from a gym in their building to find their apartment door secured from the inside with a switch bar latch. After unsuccessfully trying to reach Greenberg, Goldberg broke through the locked latch mechanism to gain entry into their apartment. Upon entering, he discovered Greenberg's body on the kitchen floor with a 10-inch knife embedded in her chest. Goldberg called 911 at 6:33 p.m., stating to the dispatcher that Greenberg had stabbed herself and fell on a knife. So believable, isn't it? Sure, he was at the gym. Of course, he was at the gym. How convenient, right? How convenient that for both this guy and Chris Coleman, who also murdered his family, um, how convenient that both of these men happened to be at the gym during the time that their spouse or their future wife was murdered. He also happened to be at the gym. How interesting. So interesting, right? Oh, he's at the gym. Yeah, he's at the gym. He finds her and he's like, oh no, she fell on a knife. What? Okay. Here, let's go ahead and continue. Treated as a unaliving by police investigators. What's this guy's name again? Samuel. All right, let's call him Sammy. Sammy was officially, no, hold on. Who is who? Sorry. Okay, so Goldberg and then Greenberg. Okay. Greenberg was officially pronounced dead at 6:40 by the responding EMS. The apartment crime scene was initially treated. Look at this. Look at this. The apartment crime scene was initially treated as an unaliving, as a suicide by police investigators. Why? Because Sammy said so? This is so nuts. So Sammy told them, hey, yeah, my future wife, we're about to get married. I kind of don't want to get married anymore though. But anyway, yeah, I went to the gym. I was working out, because it's arm day. I came home and I just saw that she had stabbed herself. So weird. And the police come in and they're like, okay, sir, we believe you. Totally. Yeah. We'll believe you. We believe you. Even though something like 93% of all women who die by homicide are murdered by their partners, yeah, let's go ahead and believe you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she definitely fell on a knife. So they saw this and they're like, yeah, she fell on a knife. So absolutely ridiculous. Ruled a homicide by Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office. However, following an autopsy on January 27th, on that day, the Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office initially ruled the manner of death a homicide. Okay, we're tracking here, right? Okay, so police came in and they're like, oh, we're going to believe the man that is just straight up lying to us, right? Because, again, are they a bunch of noobs? Are they like Kevin? They just got hired right off the street? Are they just, yeah, again, what? Are they a bunch of amateurs? They don't know how these things work. Who knows, right? Okay, so the amateur police came in and they're like, oh, yeah, let's believe this BS. The medical examiner says, no, this is absolute stupidity. There's no way she stabbed herself. However, the next day, the amateur police of Philadelphia disputed that conclusion. Okay, so they're the ones saying, no, 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 no. Hold on. It's not a homicide. Okay. My newbie rookie cops that I just hired off the street said it's not a homicide. All right. It's an unaliving. This happens all the time. I mean, women go to the kitchen and they always just fall on knives. Have you never heard of that before? Yeah. Yeah, the women, they go to the kitchen, women being women. They go to the kitchen, they cook. So who knows? Maybe she just fell on a knife 20 times. That's what they're saying. Yeah, the defective detectives, right? Shocker. So the defective detectives are saying, oh, no, 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 no. So they disputed the conclusion, publicly stating the death of Ellen Greenberg has not been ruled a homicide. Homicide investigators are considering the manner of death as suspicious at the time. I'm sorry, what is suspicious about it? What is suspicious about a woman who was stabbed 20 times in the back? And look at this. Okay, so we're seeing what's happening, right? We have the defective police, the medical examiner using his logic and his training, and the oath that I'm sure he took. He said, yes, I'm going to go ahead and rule this what it should be. And then the defective police came in and said, no, 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 no. You're not going to do that unless you want to lose your job. And then that guy went back and said, oh, you know what? I don't want to lose my job. I just bought a new house. And so then, following the subsequent discussion by the defective enforcement, the medical examiner's office reversed its conclusion, saying 2 weeks later that the death was actually an unaliving. Yeah. See, that's how pressure works, right? You pressure somebody, and then they just change it, right? They're like, oh, okay. I do want to keep my job, please. I have a mortgage. Apartment cleaned and electronics released and then retrieved. The apartment was professionally cleaned and sanitized on January 27 after police gave permission to do so. Yeah. Oh my God, look at this. Whew. So on the same day, right? On the same day of the autopsy, the police said, let's go ahead and hire people to clean the apartment. We're done with the investigation. This is obviously an unaliving. We've seen so many unalivings like this before. All these women just unalive themselves in the kitchen, 20 stab wounds. Absolutely normal. Yes, it is. It is Ellen Greenberg. So absolutely insane. Look, police gave permission to clean the apartment. How convenient. Look at this. James, Sammy's uncle, who was an attorney. Oh, goodness. Look at this. Do we see what's happening here? We already know what happened here. Sammy boy, Sammy's uncle was an attorney and chairman at the Pennsylvania Judicial Conduct Board. When you have friends in high places, you can get away with murder. Yeah, look, he also entered the apartment that day to retrieve work and personal laptops, cell phones, and credit cards belonging to both Goldberg and Greenberg. Okay, so Sammy's uncle, the attorney and chairman, somehow felt entitled to enter into this apartment and retrieve work and personal laptops and cell phones and credit cards that belong to them. I don't know who gave this man permission to do so, but apparently he made himself the head honcho here, right? Apparently he made himself the main go-to guy. Police investigators returned to the scene on January 28th after securing a search warrant. Oh, goodness. After everything's already been cleaned, they get a search warrant. At which point they requested and retrieved the electronics. Yeah. Is this amateur hour? So the police waited for James to retrieve all of the evidence first, and then the cops decided, oh no, let's go get a search warrant. And then they asked this guy to return things to them. They're like, hey, we have a search warrant. Is it okay? Can we get those things back? Yeah. Can we get the laptop and, I don't know, maybe the cell phones and all the credit cards that you took? Yeah, it's been a whole day. You probably have already disturbed some of the evidence, probably deleted everything, but it's okay. We'll take it back. Holy shit! A whole day later? Oh my God. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Sammy and Uncle, right? Uncle having pretty pretty high up there, right? He's pretty high up there. He's an attorney and a chairman of this. Here, let's go ahead and Google this. What is this? Because this sounds like some pretty important position. Guys, if I go missing, you'll know why. Oof. This is so crazy. What is it? All right. So James's uncle is part of this. He's part of the Judicial Conduct Board. Amateur hour. Right. Well, because this is insanity. This is so crazy. The negligence here is bewildering. Amateurs. Okay, look at this. Pennsylvania assumes control of cases, concludes the death is an unaliving, and says that the case is closed. No, it's not. It's not closed. People still want answers. Justice has not been served because this woman was murdered. In April of 2018, the Office of the Pennsylvania Attorney of whatever assumed control of the case due to a conflict of interest. I could have told you that. I could have told you there was a conflict of interest. Come on. In May of 2019, a spokesperson for the Attorney General's office stated that internet searches recovered from Ellen's personal computer pointed toward Greenberg's death being an unaliving. Well, yeah, that's because James took the laptop for an entire day. And then when the police retrieved it a day later, they went through her personal laptop and found evidence that she was trying to unalive herself. I mean, yeah, because they gave James an entire day to fuck with the evidence. In my opinion. I mean, my goodness, right? You take a laptop for an entire day, right? You open the laptop, and then you can go in there and start Googling, how do I unalive myself by stabbing myself in the back 20 times? Unalive. I really want to unalive myself in the kitchen. I want to stab myself in the back numerous times. How do I do that? Right? Anybody can do that. Anybody can Google this after the fact. This is so absolute. This is corruption. This is absolute corruption. This is a cover-up. I mean, look at, we don't even need a calendar to put this together. You can literally just use your common sense to put it together. Yeah, when James has an entire day to mess around with evidence, to tamper with it, of course you're going to see Google searches where she's Googling how to stab herself 20 times with a kitchen knife. So absolutely ridiculous. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe this. This makes me so angry. We should be infuriated. This is not okay. Guys, this is not okay. I can't believe there isn't more talk about this case. This is so unbelievable to me. Yeah, exactly. I can barely put my bra on. Or yeah, never mind stab myself in the back. Exactly. Oh my god, smart survival. Yes. Man, you know what it's like? You're like especially on hot days, right? It's a hot day. You're like, "Ah, damn. Okay, hold on. How do I remove this?" I just want to remove it. Right? Sometimes you even need help. You're like, hey, can you just like clip my bra off, please? I'm like having trouble right now. Come on. Come on. We struggle to take off our bras. How are we going to stab ourselves in the back 20 times? No. This is so unbelievable. Hmm. Holy shit. Okay. Hmm. The Attorney General's office stated that internet searches recovered from Ellen's personal computer. I mean, no shit. Duh. Of course they were recovered from her computer because James was able to mess with it, in my opinion. In my opinion. And that's the state's oh my God. And that the state's independent investigation had been closed. These people are so absolutely negligent, incompetent people. Legal representation for the Greenberg family disputed the validity of the computer evidence. Exactly. Stating that it was undisputed that Samuel Goldberg's uncle, James, had taken possession of Ellen's iPhone and 2 computers, thus breaking, oh, there it is, V-Bug. You don't like that word, but there it is. Thus breaking the chain of custody because he handed them over to police. The Philadelphia Police Department had also previously submitted Ellen Greenberg's electronic devices to the Philadelphia Regional Computer Forensics Laboratory for a forensic examination. Yeah, too late. And an internal police document later summarized the findings. Keywords searches were done on every computer searching for suicide information, and the examination did not reveal anything remarkable. Keyword searches were done on every computer searching for suicide information. Oh my God. Yeah, V-Bug. Yeah, except if you're sweaty, it makes it more difficult. Exactly. During the year in which the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office maintained jurisdiction over the case, the Greenberg family's legal team submitted to it a substantial volume of data exceeding 10 gigabytes of newly developed evidence. The submission included forensic files and medical evaluations, digital three-dimensional anatomical reconstructions detailing and analyzing each of the 20 stab wounds inflicted upon her body. It also included extensive deposition transcripts and of 3 officials. Let's see. One of whom testified that Ellen was likely already dead before a final stab wound was delivered. Look at this part. Look at this last sentence. It also included extensive transcripts from 3 officials. One of them testified that Ellen was likely already dead when she received the final stab wound. So how does she stab herself if she's already dead? The math ain't mathin'. I'm not an expert. I will say that right now. I'm not an expert. I'm not an anthropologist. I'm not a medical examiner. I'm just a geographer, okay? That's all I am. I'm a geographer. But I do know that dead people don't stab themselves. Do they think we're stupid? Do they think that we're going to believe that she somehow came back to life to give herself this last stab? Come on. Come on. Yeah, she came back as a ghost. Yeah, she like what are they trying to say that this is the new Walking Dead, season whatever? Come on. No. This is unbelievable. This is absolute bullshit. I can't believe this. This is so insane, isn't it? Oh my goodness. She was likely already dead. I mean, yeah. Okay. Hmm. I can't believe this, you guys. Attorneys for Greenberg's parents criticized the outcome of the investigation, alleged a failure to address evidence that's suggesting homicide, right? Questioned the qualifications of experts consulted and disputed the investigation's conclusions. I mean, anybody with a brain would do this, right? Anybody with a brain. Further investigation. Look at this. It's still suspicious. Oh my God, right? Suspicious circumstances. Yeah. Where is Sammy? Check Sammy boy. Did he have an affair? Was Sammy, whatever his name is, where is he at? Sammy Goldberg. Did Sammy Goldberg have a lady on the side? Hmm. Did he have a woman on the side? That is the first question in everyone's brain, or it should be. When a spouse goes missing, man or woman, the first person that is the suspect is the significant other. Because statistics show that about here, I don't even have to say it. Here, let's go ahead and Google it. And again, just because, studies show and statistics show doesn't automatically mean that the spouse is a suspect or that the spouse did it. But yes, it does mean that the spouse should always be suspect number 1. Should always be, right? It should always be. Globally, approximately 83,000 women and girls were intentionally killed in 2024, and about 60% of these deaths were perpetrated by an intimate partner or family member. And this is globally. This is just we're not even talking about the United States. Okay? An average of 34 women and girls are killed each day by someone in their own family. Okay? Or partner, which makes 50,000 a year total. Here, let's go ahead and just pull these up. Okay, look at this. Oh, now I have to change the way that this looks because it's not looking right. All right, okay. Yeah, look at this, look at this, look at this. Look. Relationship to offender, over 55 to over half of these female homicide victims in the US are killed by a current or former intimate partner. Roughly 76 to 92% of female murder victims. Look, this is a large percentage here. 76 to 92% of female murder victims are killed by someone they know, whereas men are significantly more likely to be killed by strangers. Mm-hmm. And this is true. Yeah. Yeah. Men are more likely to get killed by another man that is a stranger. Women are more likely to get killed by their intimate partner, not a stranger. And given that she was found in her apartment after a blizzard, she left home early because she was trying to avoid the blizzard. If she really wanted to unalive herself, then she should have just stayed outside and frozen to death. Right? Is that not the logic here? But she waited to go home to violently stab herself in the back? That makes absolutely no sense. This is batshit crazy. Come on. If you're leaving work because there's a blizzard, it's because you're trying to avoid the blizzard so that you won't die on your way home, so that you won't get into a car accident, so that you don't end up stranded in the middle of nowhere, freezing to death. But no. She was in a rush, right? That's what these people are saying. She was in a rush to get home so that she can stab herself in the back 20 times. Oh, and then come back to life to give herself the final blow. She's like, oh, no. I need one more. Okay, now I'm done. Come on. No. Look, this is from the Bureau of Justice Statistics. Okay. And again, we can go down this list all day, every day. It does not change. It does not change the numbers. It doesn't. It does not change them. Look at this. I've used this graph before in my videos. I've actually used these before. Look at this. This is perfect. This is one of these perfect graphs that oh, what happened? Oh no. Oh no, what happened? It kind of just disappeared. Oh, there it is. Okay. I panicked. I was like, oh no. Is Sammy Boy and the uncle after me at this point? I wouldn't doubt it. No, I wouldn't doubt it. Sammy Boy he already caught wind that I'm onto him. Okay, let's go ahead and see this. Okay, look at this. Look at this figure. This is from 2021. Okay. So, female murder victims and the victim offender relationship. So, when we look at these statistics, let's just go ahead and look at the graph. So, the graph shows male and female, male. Female is blue, male is gray. Intimate partner. So, look at this. Females are up here when it comes to murder by an intimate partner. Men are here. So, men are very rarely murdered by their intimate partner. Very rarely. And, when you think about it, you can kind of name them, right? Corey Richins, Sarah Boone, and you can probably just Google, right? You can Google real quick, how many women have murdered their husbands? It's going to give you a list, and it's not going to be as big as the men that murder their wives, right? So let's go ahead and see this. I just want to see a list of women that have murdered their husbands. Oh, look. There's a lady named Nanny Doss, happened in the 60s. Stacey Castor, happened in 2009. Clara Harris, Judy, Blanche Moore, Corey Richins, Sarah Boone is not here, but that's because she murdered her boyfriend, right? Okay, so we can go down the list of how many women have murdered their husbands, but the list is tiny when you compare them to all the men that murder their wives. And this is what this is showing, right? We do have a list of women that murder their husbands, and this is the reason why. If a husband also dies at the home, you should be looking at the wife. What does she do? Does she have a husband, or sorry, does she have a man on the side, right? These are all the things we should be looking at. Look at this. Non-intimate family. Look. It's showing you everything. The relationship of the victim to the offender. Friend or other person. Look. Women and then men. Men are killed at a large or by friends and other known persons more than women are. Okay? Look at this, a stranger. Men are murdered by strangers, and the majority of them are also men, right? So men murder men more so than women murder men or women murder women. And then here we have women. Look at this. Look at how low this is compared to this, right? And then we have relationship unknown. Men are murdered at a higher rate by somebody unknown than women. And so this shows you that probably the most dangerous place for a woman is her own home with her partner. And these statistics get actually even worse, way worse, for pregnant women. Pregnant women they run a higher risk of homicide by being pregnant. So when we look at these statistics, right, and then you look at this case, it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense that Sammy Boy did not get checked, that he was not investigated, although he is and should be the primary suspect because he's the one who found her. He's the one who not only found her, but he was also engaged to her. He also happened to be at the gym very conveniently at the same time that she stabbed herself in the kitchen. Who else was at the gym while his family was getting stabbed or strangled to death? Chris Coleman. Chris Coleman also used this ridiculous excuse. Oh, I was at the gym. Oh, really, guy? Who believes you go to the gym, right? I mean, look at Chris Coleman. Who believes the guy went to the gym? Here, we should look up the Sammy Boy. What's his name? Sammy whatever. I want to see what he looks like. And then we can believe, okay, you don't go to the gym, you're lying. I mean, look at Chris Coleman. There was no way in hell this guy said that he was going to the gym. I mean, come on, really. I mean, come on. Did he just start going to the gym? Did he just got accepted into the fitness community, right? He had to submit an application to Nicole Kessinger first. He's like, "Oh, are you Nikki? Yeah. Okay, I want to submit an application. Am I okay to join the fitness community?" And then Nicole saw it and was like, "Mm, I don't know. Smile? No, don't smile. Turn around? Mm-mm, no, denied." Right? I think definitely Nicole Kessinger denied his application to the gym. This guy does not go to the gym. There's no way. Uh, okay, let's go ahead and look at the other guy. I just want to see. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. He doesn't go to the gym. Does he go to the gym? Do we think that Sam goes to the gym, guys? Maybe he started. Maybe he just started, right? Maybe he had just started. Here, let's go ahead and do a little zoom in. There's a little zoom in. Oh my goodness, there's a bunch of stuff here. Okay, here. Where was I? Let's go back. All right. Okay, let's just go ahead and stick to this picture right here. It's as zoomed in as it can be. Okay, let's go ahead and do a poll. Do we think Sammy Boy works out? Okay. He just started. Let's just say he had just started. Right? Let's say he just started because he submitted his application to NK. Right? His application approved. He had just started because he's like, "Oh, I'm just not feeling well." All right, let's go ahead and start this poll. You guys decide. Poll time. Yes, Eric. It is poll time. Do we think he works out, guys? Yeah, the last one is he just started, application approved. It just didn't give me enough characters. Yeah. So if we are to believe that he was going to the gym, then, he had just started, right? He had just started. He definitely was not already working out. Very similar to Chris Coleman, right? He had apparently just started working out because you did not see the results, right? The results come later. Or who knows, right? Maybe he still stuffs his face with nachos after his workout. Who knows? But yeah, to me, the guy doesn't work out. But he went to the gym, right? He claims he went to the gym. No inclination? Oh man, I forgot that one. I forgot that one, Eric. You got to hold me to that one. Or, all the above. Never. Never. Yeah. Okay, here, let's go ahead and continue down this one. Okay. Hmm. Look at this. The number and types of wounds and blood stain patterns observed are consistent with a homicide scene. Yeah, what about the blood splatter? We don't know. You know why? Because the police ordered a cleaning of her apartment. So we'll never know what the blood splatter was even like. And because it was automatically ruled an unaliving, they didn't have to take photos Because if she unalived herself, there is no crime scene. So all of the blood splatter on the walls that could show that someone else did it and not her, gone. Gone. We don't have that because it's been completely destroyed by the amateur police. Look at this. One significant point of contention in the investigation involves the physical impact of the stab wounds, right? The stab wounds themselves that allegedly penetrated Greenberg's brain and spinal cord. Are we serious? Come on. Come on. She stabbed herself in the brain and the spinal cord. Wayne K. Ross, a forensic pathologist and neuropathologist investigator hired by the Greenberg family, concluded that a specific wound penetrated the cranial cavity and severed cranial nerves, and wrote that the wounds to the brain and spinal cord would have induced immediate traumatic brain injury signs, right? Severe pain and cranial nerve dysfunction. The original medical examiner's report stated that an esteemed counseling neuropathologist, whatever name, had examined the tissue specimen and concluded that there was no such defect or injury to the spinal cord. However, when questioned, oh, can you guys see that? Yeah, you can. However, when questioned about the case 7 years later by investigators, the doctor responded in writing, I have no recollection, right? Look at this. I have no recollection of such a case. This is a classic I plead the fifth, right? This is classic Nicole Kassinger. I don't remember. I don't recall. Kind of, sort of. Right? I have no recollection of such a case is classic deflection. And she said, I would conclude that I did not see the specimen in question, although there is a remote possibility that it was shown to me. Journalists for the newspaper examined the official state and medical files, determined that there was no bill, invoice, or report from Rourke Adams for this case. I mean, even the name is so ironic, right? Her name, the person's name is Rourke. Dr. Rourke Adams. Initially, investigators reported that the apartment door was locked from the inside with a swing bar latch, and that Goldberg had been with a security guard when he broke it open. Listen to this. However, the manager of Greenberg's apartment complex later said that the engagement of the swing bar latch did not prove that the door had been locked from the inside, because such latches can sometimes be thrown or slide shut if the door is closed forcefully. And look at this part. The security guard named in the initial police report denied that he was present with Sammy Boy. He denied that he was present when Goldberg was trying to force open the door. Building security surveillance footage corroborated the guard's statement, showing Goldberg riding on the elevator alone shortly before Goldberg made the 911 call. Okay, so yet another lie, yet another inconsistency. He is lying about who was with him when he walked in that door. An analysis of the cell phone records by CNN contradicted sworn statements by two of Sammy Boy's relatives, who had stated that they were on the phone with him and listening as he kicked down the apartment door. Huh. Yeah, exactly. No name. Yeah. That's what this guy sounds like. I plead the fifth. I have no recollection. I don't really know. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. This is what we're seeing. Someone who keeps changing their mind. Everything about this case is so inconsistent. Wow. This is so nuts. I cannot believe this. Yeah, look at this. Their daughter's death was deeply botched. Yeah, it was. Huh. and resulted in a subsequent cover up that intentionally inflicted emotional distress on the family. Hmm. Why? Oh, man. Look at this. 2024, Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas openly questioned the original investigation's validity, stating that nobody disagreed that the crime scene should have been handled differently, and noting that the fact the death certificate still listed the cause of death as suicide was puzzling. Yeah. So the thing is that the death certificate still shows this. It still shows an unaliving when it's not. It is not. Is this continuing? Look at this, present. So present time. There's still stuff going on, you guys. In December of 2025, the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, opened a federal investigation into Greenberg's death, probing potential criminal corruption and civil rights violations regarding whether Philadelphia municipal agencies properly handled or actively covered up the investigation. So the federal grand jury were issued subpoenas, and the Philadelphia Police Department and other local agencies involved in the case for records concerning the initial death investigation and the subsequent reclassification of the death from homicide to suicide. The investigation expanded in the spring of 2026. Oh, look at that. Include interviews by the FBI and federal prosecutors of witnesses and key individuals associated with the forensic reviews. Okay. So there's hope, right? It looks like there's hope. It is ongoing. The FBI is looking into it. Please, FBI, don't be so stupid. Okay, so they're currently looking into it. Yes. Good. This needs to be looked into. Yes. This, especially this part, criminal corruption and civil rights violations, this is what needs to be looked into. Whether or not, right? Whether or not this here was a cover up. This is what we need to look into. Wow. So crazy. Well, what do we think? Okay, where are we at with the poll? Do we think Sammy Boy works out? No, right. Look at that. 70%. We have 20 votes. And the majority of us don't think he works out. I don't think so either. This guy does not work out. He also lied numerous times, right? He lied. He said that he had a worker, someone that works at the apartments that was with him when he opened the door, supposedly. And then he also lied and said that he had relatives on the phone with him when he was supposedly kicking the door down. It is this guy. This guy needs to be investigated. All right, let's go ahead and do another poll. Last poll of the day. This is going to be a speculation poll. I'm just curious, right? I'm curious. If he did it, why do we think he did it? Big if. All right, let's go ahead and do the first one, right? Which is the more obvious one, right? The more obvious one, the reason that a lot of people do these things, right? All right, and then let's go ahead and do another one, right? This is another reason why these things happen. Let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah. He's married and moved away, having a nice life now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you like pina coladas, yeah. He was building his alibi over the phone, right? Yeah, I have alibis. They were listening to me kick the door down. Yeah, right. Wow. Oh, look at it. Look, is this him coming back from the gym? Look at how dumpy he looks. right, here, let's go ahead and click this. And let's go ahead and start this poll. Yeah, he's sloppy looking. So if he did it, why did he do it? Adultery, cheating, mistress, finances. He's insecure, right? He's insecure. He wasn't getting accepted into the fitness community, so he's probably just a little bit insecure. Or he's just simply a psychopath, right? He's just a psychopath. He's like, you know what? I don't want to marry you anymore. Speak up, Sam. Look at this. Oh, I guess I'm not the only one accusing him of things. Yeah, because you have to be kind of blind in a way to not think that he had something to do with this. I mean, you have to really throw out all kinds of common sense. You have to really overlook the evidence to believe that he is not involved in this at all. Yeah, she did. She deserved so much better. Yeah, if that's the gym, they need new equipment. Yeah, they do. Yeah, do they not have a treadmill in there? Anyway, this is him. Come on, really, guy? He works out? There is no way. There's no way. Look. Oh, look, he got an attorney. He's smart. Yeah, he's smart. He got an attorney. They did not receive a response. Well, of course not. Of course not. Come on. How could he? This is so crazy. This is one of the craziest unsolved, right? It's not solved. In my opinion, this is not solved. Okay. This is one of the craziest cases I've seen where it's very obvious, very, very obvious that this is not an unaliving and that it's a murder and it has not been looked into. And that this person was just allowed to move on and start a new life. This is so crazy. This is what we call injustice, right? This is what we call injustice. This is not justice. Not at all. Not even close. Right. He works out, then grabs fast food with Diet Coke. Oh, man. Yeah, he thinks that because he's on a Diet Coke, he'll be able to lose some of the weight. Yeah, hi. Hi, yes. Can I get a number one? Yeah, can I get the Big Mac? Yeah, medium or large? Medium. I work out. Okay, sir. And what would you like to drink? Can I get an extra large Diet Coke, please? I work out. I'm just watching my figure. Okay, sir. Yeah. That is $17.99. First window, please. Okay. Did you get the extra large Coke? Did you get that? Yeah. And then I said 3 number ones. Did you get that? Yeah. Three Big Macs. Yeah. Large fry. Yes, please and thank you. I work out. Right. Supersize it, please. I need my protein. Come on. This guy, no way. We need justice for her. We need justice for Ellen Greenberg. What do we think? Wow. 15 votes. Adultery and cheating. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I wonder if they looked into it, though. I wonder if the woman that he's married to now was the side piece or was she later? Yeah, he needs to dial in on the macros. Yeah, he needs to get in touch with Nicole Kessinger. I mean, the guy does not know how to work out. He needs to get in touch with Nicole. I'm so curious. I kind of want to click on this real quick.
Sam Goldberg. Are
Oh, I do know this channel.
you watching this right now? Are you a relative of Sam's? January 26th is the 15th anniversary of Ellen Greenberg's death. Sam, you remember, you were preparing for your wedding. Let's just close our eyes and imagine what Ellen would have looked like on her wedding day.
Yeah, Sam, you do remember, don't you?
Beaming with that beautiful smile.
We've decided to bring an ask for help from Ellen's fiancé and his family, because there are issues which we don't quite understand.
This is the first time Ellen's parents have made this kind of ask of you, Sam. They really want to hear from you. Just send me a DM. It's time to clear the air. Ellen's parents...
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. In my opinion, she had enough of his abuse and said it was over because she'd been wanting to move back with her parents and he got pissed. Really? It's possible. I definitely believe it. Yeah. Because, as we know, right? As we know, the other time that is very dangerous for women is when they're leaving. It's very dangerous time when they are ending a relationship. It's usually when a lot of these things happen. Wow.
Parents deserve to know what happened that terrible day when she died.
It's just we'd like to answer those questions. Because he was there, we weren't.
On January 26, 2011, Ellen Greenberg was stabbed more than 20 times in the back of her head and neck. There was a kitchen knife sticking out of her chest.
So you're going to see this and you're going to conclude that this was a suicide? Are we so serious right now? A whole knife was sticking out of her chest. Come on. Come on. Oh.
At first, it was ruled a homicide, and then it was ruled a suicide twice. I'm Ann Emerson, an investigative reporter, and in the last 30 years, I have never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
And neither have all of the forensic experts I've spoken to.
Yeah, and neither have any of us.
And I gotta tell you, it leads to one conclusion for me. This was a homicidal event.
The feds are starting to ask questions about Ellen's death. And according to the Philadelphia Inquirer, subpoenas have been sent to multiple city offices.
Yes. Oh, man. Here, let's go ahead and watch this video. Because what in the world? Exactly. Women will never die like that. Exactly. Yeah, women just, for the most part, women do not use a very violent way out. They just don't. Women, we do not use a violent way out. It is sleeping pills. Hanging is another way. Cutting of the wrist. Right? It's mostly the peaceful ones. When it comes to men, we also see something, we see a mix when it comes to men, but men, for the most part, men use firearms. That is how they unalive themselves. Firearms is something very easy. You grab it, it's gone. Or hangings, it's also very, very common where we see with men. But women, they do not stab themselves. Men don't stab themselves. Most people don't stab themselves when trying to unalive themselves. Most people don't. Right, exactly. That's another one. Yes, poisoning. Yes, carbon monoxide poisoning. This kind of stuff, right? That is how most women unalive themselves. Men also don't choose to stab themselves numerous times. Huh.
I remember. It's something that the Greenbergs wished for about 3 months ago when the Hulu docu-series Death in Apartment 603 first dropped. Were the feds listening? Make sure you're subscribed.
All right, let's see.
Ellen's name will be cleared. They will bust open the corruption. People that are asking questions, there are so many followers and there's a worldwide audience that have their finger on the pulse and have been following the case, and it's building. And we've worked really hard and we're transparent.
What would justice look like to you at this point in this case right now? What would justice?
Ellen's case was labeled a homicide.
Well, that would be the maximum we could hope for.
That's what
the minimum we could hope for is undecided. But that's the maximum we could get out of this. They're not going to bring her back. I don't know how I'll feel at that point if we're done. If you understand what I'm saying. Right now, I have a stick with a carrot on it at the end of it, and the carrot has the word suicide, and it's partially erased. It's not clear anymore. In my mind, it's not clear at all. But that's it. What's going to happen? What's going to be like?
I never thought this was a suicide.
We never did, but it doesn't matter because that's what it's labeled.
So we have to just go with what they reveal in time. Be patient.
Your patience has been incredible.
You don't know how hard it is.
I don't.
I'm not a patient man.
I don't know how hard it is. And that's why we're all kind of this wave of trying to support you as you have to be patient.
There are two things I think are the most important things I think about. Number one would be there's a murderer and an abuser in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, I want to help my daughter. And even though...
Yep. That's it. Yeah, there's a murderer and an abuser that did this. This was not an unaliving. This was not a suicide. Not at all. Watts warned everyone who he was in his presentation. It wasn't a coincidence. It was his real. Yeah, it was the real him speaking. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But wow, you guys. Yeah, let me know if you want to continue talking about this case. It is so wild. It is wild. It is unbelievable that they found this to be a suicide. It is just crazy. As well as the other one that we just saw, the other case that we were reading about. That is also insane. She did not just go missing after going kayaking. There's no way. No, she was also murdered. So crazy. Okay, guys. Here, I want to switch. I want to switch to YouTube. I don't want to watch this from this page, whatever this is. Oh, here it is. Yeah, that's better.
This is such a...
All right, this is better. Let me just go ahead and I'm going to fix some of these things here so that we can see it better. Okay. Okay, there we go. Perfect.
Expansive or large thing. We're not even talking about the abuse. The woman was abused. She had wounds on her body that were consistent with abuse. And no one talks about it. No one investigates it. You know. So if I was to summarize, there's an abuser and a murderer out there, which may be one and the same. How's that? Grab you, Philadelphia. We're looking forward to the whole thing, seriously, because this may be a doorway into what we want.
Absolutely. And I mean, it was one of the big questions that we left sort of hanging in the air last time we talked, because the last time we talked was when the docuseries was coming out. And we also had just gotten this new medical examiner's report had just been released at the same time. And that's when we last had a conversation. I remember asking what we talked about was, what will it take to bring in the feds?
We're going to stay within the law, which is what we have done. And unfortunately, we've been doing with a legal system that is bogus and corrupt.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It is bogus and corrupt. Yeah, exactly right. Sunline, what, she beat herself up? Come on. The bruises that they were talking about, those bruises were on her wrists, on her arms, on the right side of her body. The majority of them. They're seen on her knees, her arms, her back. Come on. Where is she getting these bruises from? She's not doing it herself.
Do you feel like there's other avenues for investigation on this?
Yes, definitely. We feel there are other problems with other figures in this whole thing that could lead us to where we can go next. We can go to the feds, maybe.
Yeah, Pam Bondi.
Not Pam Bondi, the FBI.
No, exactly. I was going to ask that because it was something that immediately came to my mind as well. Is this something that could be handed over to a federal investigation? Has it been completely looked at on the Pennsylvania level?
The problem is
needs
How do
to
we?
get out of Pennsylvania altogether.
The
first
problem is, how
and
do we
foremost.
attract attention to, let's say, the feds? What would make the feds take the case? Well, whatever we did or didn't do, it brought the feds in theoretically. We'll see. We'll see what they think they have. Now
Yeah.
they could just pack up and go home and say there's nothing really here, or we can't litigate any of it. I don't know. We do have an interesting thing we've decided to do. We've decided to bring an ask for help from Ellen's fiancé and his family because there are issues or
Yeah, good luck with that.
instances, let's call it actions and instances, which we don't quite understand. And we'd like him to clear them up so we understand, have a better picture, which will also help the federal arm of the government. Well, it'll also help them, period, because they may have the same questions we have. And if we can solve those, it may bring this all to a ending sooner instead of later.
Do you expect them to work with you?
Sure, why not?
And when was that ask made? How are you making that ask?
We're making it now. I assume we're making it now. And assume's a bad word. I know what it's, you know what you assume spelled. What has happened is our attorney has brought it to us, a suggestion to us, and we like Mr. Pedroza, so we do what he says.
Well, can you tell me what the ask looks like? Have you guys talked about like how you're going to ask?
No, we're just
We're
saying
doing it now.
we're inviting him and his family to come forward, explain why Sam announced that she was flat on her back to the dispatcher and he was going to do CPR.
If the knife is at her chest, it's going to be kind of hard for you to do CPR at this time.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Is someone coming here?
Yes, they are. You said right?
Yes.
Did that sound like a fiance who is wrecked? Who is distraught because he just found his fiance dead on the floor? Does that sound like someone who is... No, it does not. Oh, man. Is anybody on the way? Is what he's asking. Oh, my goodness.
You to do CPR at this time.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, I guess I'm shit out of luck.
Is someone coming here?
Yes, they are. You said right?
Yes.
Okay, someone's on the way. And the knife is still inside?
Wait, sir, what?
The knife is still inside of her?
Yes, I didn't take it out.
Was it her chest?
He's laughing? The guy is laughing. No way. He's fucking laughing. Holy shit. This is unbelievable. Let's listen to that again. Oh, this is so fake. Yes, he laughed.
Is at her chest. It's going to be kind of hard for you to do CPR at this time.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Is someone coming here?
Yes, they are. You said right?
Yes.
Okay, someone's on the way. And the knife is still inside?
Wait, sir, what?
The knife is still inside of her?
Yes, I didn't take it out.
Was it her chest or what area?
It's in her chest. It looks like it's right in her heart.
Okay, someone's on the way out there. Okay, just get.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay.
How old is she?
She's 27.
27. And there's no sign of life at all? Like,
No,
pinch her to her arm.
no, please don't be. What?
Pinch her under her arm and tell me if she responds to pain.
She's... Ellie!
Well, the first...
No, it looks like it's right. Oh, no.
If the knife is at her chest, it's going to be kind of hard for you to do CPR at this time.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Is someone coming here?
Yes, they are. You said right?
This is so ridiculous.
Okay, someone's on the way. And the knife is still inside?
Wait, sir, what?
The knife is still inside of her?
Yes, I didn't take it out.
Yeah, I didn't take it out. I also sensed a little buying of cognitive time Yeah, did we sense that? The 911 operator asked him, "Is the knife still in her chest?" And he's like, wait, hold on, what? Is the knife still in her chest? Yeah, I haven't taken it out." And then he does the stupid thing, right? The Chris Watts, exactly. Oh my goodness, yes, right, yeah. The 911 call, so ridiculous. Yeah, he does the Chris Watts, where he's like, "Hold on, wait, what? Oh, hold on, Ellie, are you alive?" He does not sound genuine at all. This is fake.
Is it her chest or what area?
It's in her chest. It looks like it's right in her heart.
Okay, someone's on the way out there. Okay, just get.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh my god, oh my god. He is the female or the male version of Nicole Kessinger. This is the male Nicole Kessinger. Oh my god. Oh my god, Ellie. So fake. So fake. Was this guy ever interviewed? Of course not, right? Because his uncle, right? His uncle James. Hey, Uncle Jim. Leave Jim alone. Huh. Because of Uncle Jim. He was not interviewed, I bet.
How old is she?
She's 27.
27. And there's no sign of life at all? I've been turned to her arm.
No, please don't be. What?
Been turned to her arm and tell me she responds to pain.
She's Ellie.
Ellie. He heard the cue, right? He heard the cue. And he hadn't cried. He was laughing. And so then he's like, "Ellie." This is so fake.
Well, the
And
first,
then the inside latch was not really disturbed very much. Why were his texts so angry?
but we
What are
really
they?
have, hold off. You got enough.
What?
You got enough. We are assuming, and assumes another bad word to use, that he watches these podcasts or somebody in his family, like his mother or his father, and they will see that the Greenbergs and their attorneys are asking them to join, that we have open arms to join us and to finish this.
So we can know what happened.
We assume that,
Why did he wait so long to call 911?
He was, she was his fiancée who he loved and was planning up till her passing to spend his life with her. So we would hope, and we know he's married and he has children, but maybe there's still something, a spark there somewhere that he'd like to get to the answers to.
So you want him to come to you through Pedraza, how do you want this information to be received?
Any way that he would like to join us and help us close these things that we don't know, we'd really appreciate. And we're sure the feds would. We don't have all the answers.
It's been 15 years. It's been 15 years. Why has he not come forward to do
What kind of question is that?
15 years? Why has he not come forward to do exactly, in your mind, why has he or his family not come forward to do exactly what you're
That's a
talking about?
question.
I mean, this is the same question we asked the Laundries, right? Why hasn't Brian Laundrie come forward? Why didn't Brian Laundrie's parents come forward after Gabby Petito went missing? Why did Brian Laundrie's parents hire lawyers? It's the same reason, right? It's the same reason. It's because they're trying to protect themselves. So the reason that Sammy Boy, right here, hasn't reached out is because he's protecting himself. If he actually cared and if he wasn't involved, he would help, right? He would help. He would have cried in that call. He would have been distraught. He wouldn't have been laughing. But no, that's not what happened. And so the question here is, why do you think he hasn't come forward? Well, because there isn't a statute of limitations on murder. And I'm sure he doesn't want to go to prison.
Question you need to ask.
Okay,
them.
that might be the first question that we discuss. It's something that the press has, it's not really, I don't know if that's really our job to ask that question. That would be a question of the press who have asked him to make comments before, and he hasn't. So I would sort of think that's more the press's problem, not our question, not ours. We thought she had found the perfect Jewish husband. How's that? We're so shallow. We want our daughter to marry a nice Jewish boy, right? I mean,
Right.
that's what you write in the text and things. And we thought we had it. And how, there are things that no father's going to think her future son-in-law is perfect, but he was far from imperfect, we thought. And we don't think any differently right now. It's just we'd like to answer those questions. Because he was there, we weren't.
I know that you're saying that this is a general corruption
Right.
investigation. I'm not arguing that at all. I just want to know if you think that whether or not this particular case is taking more precedent, would you say it was because of any particular one thing, maybe the docuseries? Do you think that possibly played a role in it?
Maybe. You really have to ask feds. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're not talking.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
They're
think
not going to talk.
ultimately it'll all unravel.
I'm going to lay it right on the line.
Right.
We have not been contacted by them. So we have no idea why we've been so lucky.
Well, I think that everything is very purposeful when it gets to that level because there's so much work that has to be done.
Yeah, they're not fooling around people.
No, but I do think that information that, I mean, certainly in, for what it's worth, in the docuseries, I mean, there were certainly things that came out in that
What happened to Ellen Greenberg? She was murdered. She was murdered. This is so obvious. I can't believe we're asking this question.
really
It
showed us.
Really was a compilation of most of the things we've learned. So if you sat there for 3 hours and you were a federal prosecutor or something, maybe something struck you that, we've heard about corruption in Philadelphia, but we never really had anything to base it on.
To hear from a reporter, I just want to know what it kind of felt like when you heard that. If you can kind of tell me what that conversation looked like.
How about wow?
Yeah.
We were overwhelmed with excitement.
Yeah, I agree. Eric, he said, yes, scary that he could possibly do this again. He didn't take accountability for his actions. Yeah, I think about that too. It's possible that, yeah, he could do this again, or he could pull John Benet Ramsey's brother, right? Where he hasn't done anything, right? He hasn't even gotten a speeding ticket or a parking ticket, if that, right? Because that is how much they are making sure that they are on the right track, right? Same with Nicole Kessinger, right? Nicole Kessinger, I'm sure she doesn't even want to get a parking ticket because she does not want anything about her going out, right? She does not want anyone looking into her past or anything. So I think similar like with Nicole Kessinger and Jean Benet Ramsey's brother and now this guy, I think that's what they're doing, right? They're low key. They are living down low, right? No one knows them, and he will never ever do anything ever again. He might never ever harm another person ever again because he got away with this one, in my opinion, right? Yeah, exactly. Staying as squeaky clean as possible.
You are.
We want that. What have we always asked for? We've always asked for an unbiased investigation led by an unbiased investigator. We've never asked for anything else but that. We never pointed a finger at anybody. We never argued with somebody. We never got to a fight with somebody. Everything is based on those two things that we asked for. Unbiased investigator. I'm serious.
When our investigator approached the Attorney General's office and the governor, they promised things that they would not deliver, reports that they were using to substantiate, but they never showed us any proof.
Okay.
They just use words, and then we never really got answers from the government.
Well, and can I just add to that? one thing that we also have discussed previously, and I want everybody, speaking to viewers who will be watching this interview, everybody to please go back and listen to what we talked about just a couple of months ago that kind of tee up this conversation. And one of them is that there was real concern from you guys about how the medical examiner in this latest report reaffirming the suicide, for what it's worth, again, is because that information that was coming out, you said categorically was not the information that was asked of the medical examiner's office. That was not what they were supposed to be looking at.
Those 30, 40 some odd pages are the worst.
Oh, yes. Tommy's girl. Drew Peterson. You mentioned Drew Peterson. Yeah, Drew Peterson did it to wife after wife after wife after wife, it looks like, right? Oh, my goodness. Wow. Yeah, Drew Peterson. Looking at him now. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right, this is who we're talking about right now, you guys. We're talking about Drew. His name is Drew Peterson. What's up with there seems to be, I don't know, right? Is it just a coincidence? Scott Peterson, Drew Peterson, Chris Coleman, Chris Watts. Look at this. First degree murder of his third wife. Savio was found dead in a dry bathtub in her home in 2004. Her death was initially ruled an accidental drowning, but her body was exhumed. Look at this. And re-examined after Peterson's fourth wife went missing. Wow. So he was convicted of his third wife, and he also killed his second wife, and possibly his fourth wife, right? And his first wife. What happened with his first? His first wife? Oh, we can't remember. Yeah. So the second wife he killed, the third wife he killed, and then the fourth one went missing, so he killed her too, right? That's insane. He should have been called out. Yeah, after the first wife. Oh my goodness.
First example of hiring somebody to do something. She should be told. We didn't respond, which was probably wrong. But number one, she never spoke to Ellen's psychiatrist. Wouldn't you start there? Where are you going to start? You're going to start saying that I watched the docudrama and that gave me everything? I mean, she has so many. The biggest one that hits me is her placing anxiety as a reason for suicide. And it's not.
It's not.
Because then we'd have all these people killing themselves on the turnpike.
Exactly. Anxiety. If anxiety was a reason for people unaliving themselves, then we would have no human beings on Earth right now. Everyone suffers from anxiety. Everyone has anxiety. People don't unalive themselves because of anxiety.
What goes by them, wouldn't we? Because there was anxiety there.
My feeling about Dr. Simon's report is that, number one, it's
Take it
rubbish.
easy.
And number two, she failed to do her job in its entirety. She didn't investigate a lot of things that are facts that should have been listed in that report. Instead, she's referring to having watched the docuseries and includes that in part of her estimation.
I could knock her out of the water with what.
Unscientific.
When we started this, we worked with Cyril Wecht. Now, Cyril has passed, unfortunately, but you know who and what he was at one time.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
He was a foremost one of those investigators. And he said, women don't kill themselves that way anymore with knives.
Exactly. We don't. Women do not kill themselves like this.
He did cover his.
No one does, though, really. It goes against our like survival instincts. It really does. It goes out against our survival instinct. This is why when we see unalivings, they are usually the types of unalivings that are instant. Gunshot wound, straight to the head. A CO2 poisoning, something that you can't feel. You kind of just go to sleep and it goes away, right? A poisoning, you take pills, go to sleep, it goes away. CO2 poisoning, stuff like this. Hanging, right? Even hangings, they are violent, they are, but they also just, you kind of just, everything just goes dark, right? And even then, even when we see hangings, the body is still fighting to survive, right? As the person is dying, the body starts to fight back and fight to live, right? But obviously, right, the person is going to die because they're hanging. But even that, right, even that, most people will unalive themselves in the most peaceful way possible. And if it's not peaceful, if it's very violent, it is going to be a gunshot wound, right? It's going to be a firearm because it's instant. It's like that. It's fast. You don't feel anything. You're not feeling any pain. It goes against all of our survival instincts as humans to constantly stab ourselves and then stab ourselves again and then again and then again and then again and again and again, 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 again. How many times? 20? Okay, I got to keep going again. Come on, really? Not only are you feeling pain as you're doing that, but after a while, your body is not even probably going to keep being able to stab itself. You're not going to be able to keep stabbing yourself when you're in that much pain. The incentive is gone at that point. This makes no sense.
Tush when he wrote Suspicious of Homicide. But if you ask him, do women kill themselves with knives, with stabbing now? Well, he would say categorically no.
No, I remember that. And also we've spoken, I've spoken to Michelle Dupree many times. I've spoken with Joseph Scott Morgan, and he's been on our show as well. Such incredible brains. I know that they've worked on this case as well and are walking lockstep with you on this case as well. So, I mean,
we walk in lockstep with the experts. Seriously, we don't
I understand.
I'm not trying to be funny or anything.
You're not being funny, and I appreciate that. You're not a lawyer. You're not a scientist.
No,
you're a dad.
I was very honest. If they had gum disease, that's where I would help them. I would have looked in. But for what our experience and our educations, I'm not trying to be funny. We've learned.
We have photographs. We have opinions. We have
a computer rendition of all her wounds and problems.
It's our job, and I see it over and over again. And as far as the relentlessness that you have portrayed, to make sure that Ellen's name and voice and beautiful face stay in front of us, and make sure that we're still trying to climb that mountain, right?
This is Ellen's mother, and I'm her father. And we will always be that. Seriously, I'm not trying to be funny here.
And Ellen could be your daughter or your sister or your cousin or your aunt or your friend.
I wanted to go back to what was going on in Ellen's life in January of 2011. So folks can understand a little bit. I mean, this was supposed to be a really exciting time. And
I like this father. I'll have to look into this guy. Yeah, right. Looking into the Drew Peterson guy, right? He was given an additional 40 years in prison for trying to hire someone to kill the prosecutor who nailed him. That guy is insane. So that guy is just absolutely unhinged. That guy is just straight unhinged, isn't he? Peterson is a deep dive, really. Yeah, we have so many deep dives to go through, guys. This one is insane to me. This one is pretty crazy. Yeah. And yeah, I do like their parents too. I really do wish that the dad would let his wife speak a little more though, right? I definitely have noticed that. Is that he doesn't really seem all that fond of his wife having opinions or speaking. So that's the one thing I will say about the dad here is that he doesn't want her to speak at all.
Young woman's life, wasn't it? It was, I mean, you were expecting to be walking her down the aisle.
My job.
Yeah, that was your job.
I had already decided there were no backsies, by the way. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. But I was serious. I was talking about no backsies.
What are backsies?
You can't return her.
Oh, no backsies. You can't give her.
If you make a trade or something.
I have never heard that before.
Well, it's a kid thing. You get no backsies. And it's not, I don't even think it's known here in the South, but it may not even be, it was local.
That's my problem. I'm a Carolina girl. I'm like, what is a backsie?
No backsies.
No backsie. So you were getting ready for.
That was going to be the start of my speech.
We had just come back from St. Kitts, Sam, Ellen, Josh, and I, for 10 days we were gone.
At least.
And her mother-in-law did her future mother-in-law did the calligraphy on the save the date cards, and they were mailed out, and all of the deposits for the wedding had been secured, and everything was in place.
I was going to work another 10 years.
To
Gotta
pay
the
for
bills.
this beautiful wedding?
Pay the
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah, that was being judgmental. I mean, no, I definitely notice these things, right? It's very yeah, it's very 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 noticeable that he is definitely the one in charge here and not her. And yeah, I mean, it happens in almost every culture though, right? I mean, we live in a patriarchal society. And in a patriarchal society, men are the leaders here. And so yeah, it happens in all cultures. I mean, yeah, we live in a patriarchy. But yeah, here it was very, very obvious to me that he's definitely like, can you please shut up? And it's just, I don't know, it's a little, you know, of course we are watching the parents and they're talking about their daughter and wanting justice for her. But yeah, to me, it's just, she is not even allowed to speak, right? She's not even allowed to speak. And when we are looking at these cases and we're looking at these statistics that I was just showing it's been an hour probably now. When we look at the statistics of the things that we see, right? This is why though, right? So I think rather than just ignoring it as like, oh, it's just culture. No, it shouldn't be just culture. It shouldn't be. Because when we see the statistics of women that are getting murdered at home by men, by their husbands, by their spouses, by their boyfriends, ex-boyfriends, this is why. This is why. It's because men in the patriarchy feel entitled. And women just don't really have a say. And so this is part of the reason. It's part of the reason. And we can't just keep ignoring it and just keep passing it off as like, oh, it's just part of culture. No, it should not be okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. The culture is patriarchal, but we should not be okay with this type of treatment. It's not okay. Let's continue.
bills.
I get it.
The Hershey Hotel is not chopped liver, as they say.
No. And it was, I mean, and so you had just come back from St. Kitts. Can I ask you, when you say that, it makes me wonder, did you ever see anything, did she ever show you anything on her body that looked like
No, I had no,
any
I
bruises
no,
or anything like that? And is something else going on in Ellen's mind at that point, saying there's a problem, there's a flag, or there's been a problem?
And you can't talk about it.
Yeah, because it's too hard.
That's right, because it's hard and you're not sure you're right.
if you go back 15 years, I didn't know anything about domestic violence. I didn't understand those things, and they were never anything that I would ever consider.
We had no knowledge of what was going on and how, even from a...
I mean, the truth is that most women don't even know what DV really is, right? That's the thing. Most women have no idea that they are in an abusive relationship. They think that just being told, like, hey, shut up, you don't speak, that is normal for a lot of women. And, I do see it coming from her where she's like, I had no idea. I don't even know what DV is. And again, right? No, I'm not trying to be judgmental here, but we are definitely seeing this type of dynamic. The same dynamic that led to their daughter's own murder is kind of similar to what we're seeing in their own dynamic, where they don't really place women in a valuable role. And, like I said, I'm trying to be as respectful as possible here. But it doesn't really seem like he gets it, right? It doesn't really seem like he gets it. The mom is being vocal, right? She's wanting to tell her side of the story, what she feels, right? She wants justice for her daughter, and so does the dad. And I completely agree. But it's the dynamic that we're seeing here. And every time that we see another woman get murdered by her husband or her fiance or her boyfriend or her this or her that, it's always the same thing. It's because of the entitlement of men. and how they treat women. They devalue us at every step of the way. And so to me, it's kind of, I don't know. I really don't know what to think here. I really don't. Hmm. Right. And like I said, I feel for them. I really do. But at this point, I'm feeling more for the mom. And this is, again, like I said, I'm trying to be as respectful as possible. They both lost their daughter. I get it. But it is, the dynamic is kind of what we're seeing with them, right? Even what the dad said earlier, he's like, "Oh, I kind of wanted my daughter to be in a nice relationship with a nice Jewish boy," right? It's the same belief though, right? It's the same belief system that devalues women. It's oh, I just want to marry you off to the next man, and hopefully that man doesn't murder you. It's the same thing, and then we kind of see the dynamic even amongst the same parents. It's like the mom kind of feels it, right? But every time that she opens her mouth, I see dad go like, shut up. Stop talking. Right? It's like she doesn't have a voice here almost. Huh. But anyway, let's continue.
A specific or a generalized concept. We didn't know it. We never suffered it. We never administered it. We didn't do anything about it.
No.
We didn't know.
And she didn't come from a place of that. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't something that she was familiar with either.
No.
Coming from
Yeah,
a
two
home like
parents that
yours.
spent a lot of time with her, took care of her, provided just about everything.
Mhm.
No, she would learn the value of a dollar and things. We made her, contribute where possible, but she was protected her whole life.
And am I right in that she had said that she wanted to come home during that period?
That's what was going on.
I didn't understand it to be that. I thought she wanted to come home for
As
a visit.
right? But I understood. Right? I felt with her wanting to come home, and just what it was, that something was wrong, and I couldn't help my daughter, so I made a deal with her, the famous deal. If she went to a psychiatrist of our choosing, and she said she could come home, I was interested in two things. I was interested in my daughter.
I would never think that. But
Well, you never know. I was interested in my daughter's well-being, and I didn't want her to lose a job and lose the ability to get a job later on. Those are the two things. That's all I knew. I'm very simple, and
Okay.
that's what I cared about. My daughter, which I couldn't help, and if she left a school job in the middle of the year, what was going to happen?
Right, Boops. I did notice that too. Yeah, he made jokes about no take backs. Like I said, I don't want to be judgmental, right? I will talk shit about the perpetrators all day long. But there's still the part of me where it needs to be called out, and we have to call it out. And I can still feel for them. I can still feel for their loss, and I can still call out when I sense some type of entitlement here. I'm so glad. Okay, thank you. Sometimes I just, Ugh. See, the thing is, I want to call out everything that I see as wrong, but sometimes, people will take it the wrong way. They'll be like, "Oh my God, you're not allowed to say those things about the grieving parents." But why not? Why not? I thought it was really weird too. It was. I read your comment earlier too, Boobs. You said it was a little tactless. Yeah, it was. It was. It definitely was. We need some Let's Continue stickers. Yeah, we do. We do, Eric. We need the Let's Continue stickers, and we need the rest of the merchandise. I'm trying to get the rest of the stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we can discuss the reality we see. Right. Yeah. This is why I watch yeah. Okay, here, let's go ahead and rewind it. I'm trying to, okay, I want to see what he was saying here. But yeah, I definitely, he didn't want her to come back. Yeah. Yeah, right. And I think this is why he's giving us a disclaimer as well, right? He's like, oh, you're probably going to think I'm a terrible father. Oh, you never know, right? He's making a lot of these, to me, I would consider them pretty inappropriate jokes because this is his daughter that was murdered. But again, hey, he's making these jokes. That's his daughter. Yeah, the thing that I'm kind of thrown off by is just how he treats his wife as well, right? Let's continue.
I'm very simple, and that's what I cared about. My daughter, which I couldn't help, and if she left a school job in the middle of the year, what's going to happen when she wants another job? Seriously, I mean, that's all I thought about. Now, it's maybe very shallow and materialistic and all those other terrible things, but that's it. I never saw a bruise. I never saw any indication except of her behavior being different. And it was she wanted to come home, which made no sense to me.
Her behavior was different probably because she was getting abused. Right? That's why her behavior was different. But, right, so he's saying, oh, I didn't notice any of those things. Yeah, because you don't notice them when you are doing them with your wife. If you don't notice that you devalue your wife when you don't let her speak and you cut her off constantly, then how are you going to notice that your daughter is getting abused by another man?
And unfortunately for me, I thought it was a much more serious thing than Sandy did. So it was rougher on me, I think. I had to say this stuff.
Well, we make decisions at the time with the information that we're given. And that was also part of it, right? I mean, you had a certain amount of information. She's living where she's living, whether or not, whatever was going on her body and what we saw after the fact. I want to get to a couple of the things because I did, when we talked about, we have spoken at length about what happened during that sort of initial period of when you found out. And I do feel like we can send our viewers back to that part of our conversation. And I encourage them to do that because you are very clear about what happened in those first critical hours and days afterwards. But I wanted to ask you specifically in this interview about what appears to me to be an incredibly important misstep. And the crux of this investigation in a lot of ways is Dr. Osborne, the medical examiner who was there, who took it from homicide to suicide and now has come out with his latest anything but suicide, whatever that means.
He's taken it back somewhat.
He has taken it back somewhat, but when you watch him in that deposition, he looks nervous. He's cautious. He's worried. He's looking all over the place during.
Smart Survival, that is such a good question. Did she go from a controlling father to a controlling fiance? It sounds like it, right? It does sound like it to me. It kind of sounds like it. Yeah. Yeah, he says he says it so simply. I couldn't help. Yeah, it's not normal, he said. And yeah, he probably always was very detached. Yeah, and he made a joke like he didn't have to pay for her wedding. Yeah, he is making a lot of right. This is what happens sometimes, right? We'll start a video and we think it's going somewhere and then it ends up taking us somewhere else. But this is why I love that we are able to discuss this, right? I love that we can have a discussion and that I can feel comfortable bringing it up, right? Because yeah, I don't know if you guys, I mean, obviously, like I've said before, I don't mind roasting perpetrators all day long, but when it comes to calling stuff like this out, sometimes you just don't know if you're going to get attacked, right? Sometimes when people be like, oh, how dare you? Well, they're grieving parents, right? But I want to call it out because it's not right. I mean, I'm seeing him shut his wife up in front of everybody, right? He's telling her, oh, calm down. Like she's just talking. So, now that we're seeing everything, we saw this poor woman get murdered by her fiancé. And then we have the family. We have one side, which is the dad, that is still asking her potential murderer to help him with the investigation. And he still kind of not really thinks that he did it, which is kind of weird, right? Kind of weird that your daughter was murdered and you don't think that the man that was with her did it. You kind of still think he's innocent in a way. I don't know. It's so weird.
In the deposition, his body language to me was not great. What did you notice in it?
I wouldn't look at it any way that he realized he was in trouble.
His words were measured. He was, I'm sure, heavily coached on how to answer. He didn't just show up for that. I'm sure he had some practice.
Yeah.
I don't know how, though, a medical examiner with his experience can make a determination of suicide initially with everything factual.
He said
all his
homicide,
excuse me. He labeled Ellen's cause and manner of death homicide. Then they have a secret meeting that they're not recording, and no one's really telling you
Who was there?
who was there
And
and
what
what
they
they spoke
said.
about. But they were able to convince the medical examiner to go from homicide to suicide, not undetermined. I think
Well,
that's
and
major.
Well, and Sandy, when you say they, just so our viewers understand where you guys are coming from, when you say they, you're talking about an
Mhm.
investigatory body. Like you're talking about people that would be involved in law enforcement
That's
authority.
that's a good
The
term.
police, someone from the district attorney's office and the medical examiner's office. And they were probably also being coached by the Philadelphia solicitor's office.
So I will go with you, and I like that term, investigative body, or a legal system body, whatever you want to. But I think that it's the same difference.
Here's a question: if the feds, and we're just going to have to like make the jump right now. Like I understand that they're looking at corruption, but if we are looking at this in terms of your daughter's case, if in fact this was, if the feds in fact find that this is a cover up of some degree, what or who are they covering up and why? Do you have you been able to think about that at all as far as
Something we've been very careful about, Ann. You're not going to like it. We have never pointed a finger at anybody. We've never said who we thought who did it, who might have been involved in it. We've been very careful. We've asked for what we've asked for, an investigation. But we never said XYZ did it, or ABC did it, or CX.
And that's just not our job.
No. We are being advocates for Ellen, and she needs somebody to do a thorough investigation.
There's so much material missing, surveillance videos, records, that they're not producing. So bring it on, feds.
Yeah, look at this. This is the guy. This is the part where he supposedly brought somebody back with him and he has alibis. That is not true. Look at him. He's by himself. Supposedly he's coming back, right? He's coming back from the gym. Oh, please. Please. Huh. Right, yeah. Okay, what are we saying here? Oh, yeah, some people have weird ways of coping. Right. Yes. Oh, yeah, talking about the dad. Yeah. Yeah, it was, yes. It was this guy. It was Sammy Boy. It was Sammy Boy who was laughing. Yeah, the boyfriend did. Yeah, right. Oh, are we getting confused here? Yeah, Sammy Boy is the one that laughed during the 911 phone call, right? So, yeah, so it was him who laughed. The critique into the dad is coming because he's a bit misogynistic, in my opinion. And I mean, I'm still going to call it out. So, and the thing is that I do think that, I mean, I don't really think he's treating his wife like that because he's coping. I think that this is how he is, right? I don't think this has anything to do with the coping. This is how he is in the household. Yeah, he's the man of the house.
Our apartment was cleansed before the police did an investigation. What, you hear about that often? No. You know, we're going to stay clear of pointing fingers. We have for the whole thing, and it's the best thing. It may have been what got us to where we are, for all we know.
I think you keep on asking the right questions.
You guys in the media are really slick, and you know what you're talking about because you've done it more than once. We've only done it once.
Tell me, has your lawyer said anything about, as we go through this, any crimes? I like that he wants you to ask Ellen's fiance's family to step forward and step up at the 15th year anniversary of this. Enough is enough, right? Enough time has passed and enough questions have been asked. This is the time to do it, especially during a federal probe. But I did want to ask you if Ellen could speak to us today, what would she say about this sort of turn of events and where it's taken us 15 years later?
See, guys, if you do the right thing and keep at it, it works out.
Mom and Dad, I love you.
Right.
Thank you so much, Tom Brennan, for doing your due diligence. Thank you to our lawyers, Will Trask and Joe Pedroza. She's watching everything.
Absolutely.
We have a communication system with her.
What is it?
Does. Go ahead, tell her.
I find coins. I hear chimes. I see butterflies. The day the story broke, I was on the golf course and an orange butterfly literally came straight into my face, hit me.
And she has a very pretty face, by the way.
That was Ellen.
Oh, I believe it.
Or maybe a messenger from
And we were setting up for an interview yesterday
Today, right.
in our living room on the couch, and I picked up the blanket, and there was a penny on the couch.
The funny thing else, maybe I lost more. Look, I'm her father. I'll always be her father, is how I think. And I'm sure Sandy thinks the same way, but she thinks she's her mother.
And when other families hear about this that have lost loved ones who have dealt with misclassifications and mishandling of their loved ones' cases, is there anything that you can say to them who may be hearing this and hearing hope?
They come to me and say, how do you keep going like that? And I say, I don't know any other way.
And like I said yesterday, I'm thrilled that my husband is on the same page as me, and that we both are looking for the same results and the same justice and the same truth. We have to just continue to have faith and take care of ourselves.
That you guys have once.
Did we catch that? I'm glad that my husband is on the same page as me, so I guess he never is, huh?
Again, given me such an enormous amount of your time and effort. It amazes me how much energy that I know that you have put into thinking and worrying and working and just patiently waiting for more answers in this case. And just know that we're all thinking about your daughter.
All right, Julie. Yeah, see ya. Oh, wow. It's 2 a.m. Yes. Go to bed, girl. Thank you so much for joining today's live stream. And yeah, I mean, we're about to end it over here. We're almost done here. We're just gotta finish watching this little video here, and then yeah, we're gonna be, oh my goodness, look at this 3-hour live stream.
And we'll be thinking about her as well on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Drop a comment. I want to know.
There it is, and it's over. It's over. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, what do we think about this? This was wild. Okay, it took us down a roller coaster ride. I was not expecting this. Like I said, sometimes I'll start a video and I think it's going to go one way, but then it takes us somewhere, and I just need to talk about it, right? I just need to talk about it because at the end of the day, my main goal is to not only talk about an individual case, a case here. Exactly, Gia. Yeah, she told me, she's like, I don't want to just talk about a case here and a case there and a case there. No, we're talking about all these cases, but I want to get to the root of the problem. Why does this keep happening? Why do people feel so entitled to take the lives of other people? And sometimes you have to analyze the world and how it works. And in order to do that, we have to be able to see every single person involved, right? So not only the victim and the perpetrator, but the perpetrator's parents, the victim's parents as well, and society as a whole. And what we consider is acceptable behavior and isn't. And so when we take everything into account, including statistics, all the murder statistics, all the women and the men that get murdered, we're able to see a pattern here. And the pattern is devaluing of certain people. We devalue children. We devalue women. And some women devalue men if they're not able to provide what we believe that men should be able to provide. So it always comes down to society and the way that we police each other, the way that we, the way that we police each other, but also the way that we have each other's backs, right? And so that is what I want to get to the bottom of. Not just certain, a case here, a case there. No, it's really understanding why do we keep seeing this problem, though? Why is it that women keep getting murdered left and right by a husband or a boyfriend or an ex? Why is it that every time that a child gets murdered, it's a family annihilator? Why is this happening? And so I am curious into learning about not just the individual itself, but how society pressures people to do these kinds of things. Because we're not here alone, right? We're not here alone. All of these thoughts, all of these opinions that we have are in a way influenced by the media, by society, by our culture, our upbringing, our parents, all of this. And so when we look into everything, then we're able to kind of pinpoint what is the issue here and how we were talking about it during our chat, right? Who knows? It's possibly that a lot of these women are raised by very, either controlling dads or controlling moms, and then they end up finding that in their partner, right? Because they're used to the abuse, they're used to the neglect, they're used to being controlled by men. And so they go for a parent, or sorry, they go for a partner who resembles their parent or who resembles that type of upbringing, right? We tend to go for what we already know. And I even use myself as an example, right? I was in a relationship that was not good for me. It was not good for me. But I didn't even know that the relationship I was in was not healthy because I thought it was normal because I came from an abusive household. I myself came from a home where my own mother, right, the parent that gave birth to me and gave me life treated me like shit. So when I found a partner and they treat me better than my mom, but they're still treating me like shit, I thought, oh, this person loves me. At least they don't hit me. And that is a fucked up way of viewing love. That is not how we should view love. People deserve genuine love, and it's the type of love that, it's genuine, it's genuine care. Love is when you really care about that person and you want to support them. You want to see the best for them. Even if you are not the best for them, you take yourself out of it so to see them happy, right? It is selfless. That is what love is. But, it's just the way that we're raised. Sometimes we just don't know. And we think that is the type of love that we deserve because that is what was shown to us as children. And it is just so sad. So, so sad. And so these are the things that I really want to talk about, you guys. When I talk about these cases, it's because I want to know all of it. I want to understand the pressures of people and why we choose what we choose and why people choose to do these things to other people. And I think I agree with something that somebody else earlier said, that I think that narcs choose empaths as their target because they know that they're able to pull out their heartstrings. So I completely agree with that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so, so much for joining this live stream with me and hanging out with me for 3 hours. This was fun. It was fun. And it was also really sad. And I also enjoyed analyzing this case with you all and talking about a completely different case. If you guys want to talk about it some more, please, let's go ahead and keep talking about it. And of course, yeah, thank you all so much for being open-minded as well. Yeah, I want to be as open-minded as possible. And I encourage everybody else to, bring your opinions and your thoughts and all that. And yes, I like to challenge and I also like to be challenged. Okay. You guys have challenged me. And I will say this on Rabbit Hole Rocks. You guys have challenged my logic sometimes when it comes to certain things, and I see it, right? And then I'm like, oh, you're right. I didn't see it that way. So I love that we're able to do this, you guys. You have no idea how grateful and just thankful I am for you guys. Thank you guys so much. And again, right, we don't have to always agree, but it's good that we can at least talk about it in a respectful manner and that we're not all just fighting, right? I felt sad when Deadline says that people just fight in her chat. No, not here, not here. We're all adults and we all respect each other. Even if we don't agree, it is okay to call these things out when they need to be called out. So, all right, guys, but thank you guys so much. Take care, you all. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you to my moderators. Welcome, Tommy's Girl. Welcome to the moderator group. And you do have access to Discord too, if you want to go ahead and do it. And the rest of you guys do too as well. All right. If you do want to join Discord, go ahead and apply. All you have to do is tell me whether you're a moderator, a member, or a subscriber, and I'll go ahead and add you. And yeah, all you have to do is just give me your username. I just want to make sure that whoever's joining Discord isn't some creeper, right? I don't want creepers in Discord. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything. Please take care of yourselves, guys. Please be safe out there. It is a crazy world. As we know, it's crazy. All right, guys, take care. Be safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys. I'll leave you guys to some ASMR. You guys want some Twister fur? Yeah, let's do some twister fur. All right. Bye, guys.